Is it because it's lower, it gets a higher shot?
Well, it gets a more complete shot than just wide.
I feel like he's just towering over me and just kind of hovering.
Because I mean, you're going with from a lens that big to a lens that big. So
yeah,
you know.
Ron oversees this all.
Wow.
Papa Burgundy.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
This just did.
Wow.
So, okay, so we have the news. I'll bring us in. We'll talk about the beer, how we just want to essentially drink with everybody. You can go over the name things. We'll say which name won.
Windy Tits.
Windy Tits for the win.
They will be getting 2 bottles of beer.
Wow, good old Gary Squires. All right.
Good old Gary, yes, huh?
Did you bring him some beer?
Not to the show, but I mean, I'll get Ben some beer. That's who that is, right?
Yeah.
And we can call him Ben too. I don't think it matters.
I kind of want to just call him Gary
He's
Squires.
Gary. Yeah.
Squires.
I think
That's what it
we'll
is
call
on our
Gary.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, congratulations, Gary.
And so now we're gonna drink it and talk about it, but probably not rate it. Can we rate it?
I feel like we can. I feel like we can call out what we don't like about it. Rate it.
Did we rate it on the thing?
No, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't.
No, we rated your beer. Yeah.
Yeah, we rated the pomegranate, but not.
I think it's only fair that Sean gets revenge and is able to rate our beer.
I think so. Yeah.
And you can be that if you want to be the sole rater on it, Sean.
That's too much.
Are you
That's
saying?
a lot of pressure.
Are you saying you don't? Are you saying you don't want to rate it because you feel like there's like a conflict of investment?
Maybe. I don't know, man. If I'm not, well, we can rate it if you guys want to rate it.
Well, I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah.
I mean, I can rate it for you just so that you have documentation, and I'll be honest.
Takes 10 ratings before you can get an average.
It's true.
On Untapped, that's the actual rule on there. Before they'll give a beer a rating,
Average.
you have to have 10.
At least 10 in there. Yeah.
I saw one home brewer and just gave him some 5s.
Did he really?
Times.
I can't believe. I am actually really surprised that there's a homebrewing category on there anymore. For the longest time,
There wasn't.
It specifically said no homebrews, no self-made blends, no cocktails.
Now, what do you mean?
No.
You got 5s. They didn't drink it.
Well, they rated themselves 5s on their own beers.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant you got your rating on your beer already on.
Right? Motherfuckers did that. Oh. Yeah, definitely not a 5 beer. Also.
No, agreed. I think we can rate it. I think we're good to rate it.
Vic, Paul?
I'll rate it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a little
Yeah.
subjective on our end, but yeah.
And we can say that too.
It's fine. Yeah.
That's right.
Numbers might be a little off.
And if you don't agree, too bad you don't get to drink it, bitch, unless you're Gary.
Unless you're Gary.
I'm sure Gary
And whoever he
So
decides
Gary
to share
Squires.
it, if he does.
Right on.
Okay, so I'm ready to go. Wait, how do you want to do this, Paula? Should I say, I'm Jerry, and then you can sneak in and say, where's my pop filter on the mic? It's not going to help.
Oh, yeah, it's a little.
We're not recording now.
Oh,
No.
thank
No. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube.
Okay.
That's-
Oh, we are live? Shit, I didn't realize we were going live.
I'm the
Everybody
newbie. I'm
said
more
cool.
careful than you.
Normally,
I'm usually the one that
Everybody
starts
said
it.
cool. Someone said cool.
Normally I announce this on YouTube and bring us in and welcome everybody, and then Jerry will bring us in on the podcast proper.
I do appreciate the child seat, though.
Because he's
I
so
feel
shorter.
like I'm
The lawn chair?
I know. So one thing, ultimately, we want to invest in is chairs that are all the same size,
Yeah, it'd be handy.
especially
Except
for
for your
videos.
guest. Always give your guest this chair.
The tiniest chair.
Here we have the stool for you.
Lord.
Use the studio.
Um,
Enjoy it.
Our butt cheeks can't
So-
take the normal.
yeah, do you want me to be it? So, well, I guess we could do it to where I could say, I'm Jerry, and then we'll just go around that way, and by the time it gets back to you.
Yeah, I'm just, you're going to create a lot of noise.
Yeah,
while
dude.
sitting
I'm
there.
not too worried about it.
Just yell it from the back.
I can just yell it from the back.
Well,
So-
right.
I can tell you through my headset, I hear you just fine, Paul.
Good.
I mean, even when you're sitting over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, probably not over somebody else talking, but yeah. So just be in the background, and we'll go Jerry, Paul, Vic,
Yeah, just be like, I'm Paul.
Sean.
All right.
Oh, I gotta come up with a thing.
Well, you better get
What
going
thing?
soon.
What
What kind
thing?
of thing, Vic?
What thing?
Oh. I'll give you 10 seconds, William.
What are you talking about, Will?
His name. Coming in.
Oh, 'cause you wanna be Will I Am.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody out there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brewnomics, this sweet podcast where we drink beer and talk about stuff.
Whatever we want.
Indeed. I'm Jerry.
Oh, Paula.
I'm Vic.
Will, I need a beer.
I'm Sean.
Is that a question? I don't know. All right. Yeah, Sean, that's probably a new voice you haven't heard yet unless you listen to our bonus podcast. Sean is an excellent man. He's a new friend of ours, homebrew extraordinaire, smart guy, generous guy, nice guy, and dare I say, he might just be a little silver fox too. Yeah, but he was a huge help to us when we brewed our beer that you guys have been, if you're following along on our Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you've been seeing all the updates. We've got a lot of great feedback from it. And he made the process a lot easier, especially the bottling, the knowledge, the whole thing, or I'm sure we would have fucked it up at some point.
Oh, yes.
Totally.
But it seems to be pretty okay. So we're going to drink it, we're going to judge it, and we're going to announce the name and the winner of the Facebook poll that we had.
Great. Well, yeah, please. While Jerry pours this, I will go ahead and announce the winner first of the naming of the beer. The winner is Mr. Gary Squires.
Gary. And what was that name?
The name that was voted on by everybody was Windy Tits.
Windy Tits, by a large margin, too.
Yes. So what we were going to do is, because he won the naming contest of the beer, because we were having struggles and everything coming up with a name, he will get 2 bottles of this red ale that we have created. And yeah, we're going to get that to him and make sure that he enjoys it. Hopefully he'll enjoy it. He'll either trash it. Yeah. Trash it online or whatever, but we appreciate the honest feedback. And also, we're going to announce the proper name because it's one of the things that has been brought to the
decided
attention.
to be like, hey, Gary, thanks for your feedback. Fuck you.
Not really. But in any case, I was told that, red should have a really good story behind it. Like any beer should have a really good story behind it. And if any of you guys have known me, outside of the show, and it's fine, like you've seen me, pictures of me or whatever, you kind of notice that I've got a scar on my forehead. And that scar is from when I was 14 years old. And I was ran over by a truck. I was hit and then ran over by a 76 Chevy half-ton pickup on my way home from a pickup hockey game. After that, I basically cracked some ribs, got a crap ton of road rash, and the truck, when it went over me, I hit my head on the transmission pan, kind of popped my head like a ping pong ball, and my brain was exposed. You could see it. It didn't rupture the brain sac. So luckily, I only have a small amount of drain damage. And and then the back tire ran over my femur, cracking that. And I was airlifted. And after all the surgeries and everything, the metal plate in my head, all that kind of stuff, they told my parents that I had a 20% chance to live. And I made it through, obviously. And so here I am.
Good. I was wondering how that story was going to turn out.
Yeah. And so we're going to call this beer, because naming beer we found is actually pretty dang hard. We're going to call it Run Over Red, because not only was I run over, but it screams, hey, run over. It's ready. Come get this red beer.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Excellent. Cool
So-
story, bro.
Yeah.
That does suck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to initially name it after myself or have anything to do with me, but it was named for my birthday. We did this for my birthday. And so people were like, no, it's got to be about you. It's got to be about you. So I'm like, all right. So I came up with that. And then, of course, Mr. Gary Squires came up with a super popular name of Windy Tits, which is just awesome. So we will probably use, just keep referring to it as Windy Tits.
Run Over Red, AKA
Windy
Windy
Tits.
Tits.
Windy Tits.
Boonomics WT.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Let's drink it. I guess we can talk about the process a little bit, not too much. We don't want to go too long in this. Or I guess we can. It's our fucking podcast. Talk about whatever we want.
Make it a
So
two-parter if we want. guys.
how do you think it turned out, Will? Because I know you had a lot within the recipe here. It's a little cloudy. Does not look like a red.
No, it looks it looks like a stool sample.
It's fucking ugly, bro.
It's not a pretty beer.
It's not a pretty beer.
Yeah. It's closest akin to a brown ale, but even still, like.
It looks like it's unfiltered, but it is not unfiltered.
Yeah,
It was filtered.
if you think about
No,
it,
it was
it's
not,
like
it was
a
not filtered.
Twas not filtered.
No,
See, I'm not fucking.
you don't filter beer typically.
it looks like if you took like a very like organic apple cider from the store, like, and
Yes,
it's kind of like
is what
that
it looks
color.
like.
That's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's totally what it looks like.
But it tastes a lot better than it looks. I will say that. I'm happy with it, but it's not everything that I wanted it to be. What I was going for was this recipe that I got from Sean. Well, I shouldn't. Kind of. I got it from Sean. So
The recipe is phenomenal.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, so it was just the execution that missed?
A little
No,
bit.
it was the yeast chosen.
Yeah.
And that was not the fault of Will, or the recipe, because it didn't call out the rest of the
This
yeast that was
specific.
used.
Yeah.
So this yeast that was used stays in suspension, hence the cloudiness.
Yeah.
So it's actually a perfect beer, but it's not visually appealing.
Yeah. It came out exactly as the recipe said it should, even all the way to the ABV and the gravity and everything. So execution wise, when we all brewed this, we nailed it. But yeah, the recipe, what I was going for was the best beer that I've ever had, which Sean brewed about a year ago. And I was like, dude, I have to get that recipe. And the problem was then this was kind of abnormal for Sean because you write everything down and put everything in the computer. But what happened with this one?
I went to find the recipe and I remembered that I made it out of my head and I brewed it and I never wrote anything down.
Whoops.
Yeah. So he was really helpful in finding me a very good, stable, sort of recipe. And he mentioned that he kind of tweaks some stuff. And he told me what he would typically tweak. But I think we got really close. I do.
It is really good. And I think we've had a few of our close friends try it. A few people whose feedback I took down to one of my brewer friends.
Yep.
And had them try it. And I was kind of talking shit about it just because I wanted to put it, but they said it was phenomenal. They
great.
really liked it. I will say, because this beer comes in at what, like between 5.1 and 5.3?
Yeah, it's
ABV wise?
it's a 5.2 beer.
5.2, hey?
And it's
right
absolutely perfect.
And they said they thought it was like 7%.
Oh,
And
really?
they're like, that was the one feedback that got a little booziness to it. I don't quite get that, but
Who drank it?
there were some brewers in Twin Falls. Well, one was a retired brewer and his wife.
There's no booze in this.
I don't think so either.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know until I'm calling them out.
Yeah, I was kind of like, no, it's not very strong. But I think they were already boozed up at that point. So that might
There you
No,
have been worth it.
this red has absolutely every single thing a red should have, which is earthiness. It's dry. It's not sweet.
It's a little malty.
It's supposed to be
mhm.
very malty. This is an Irish red. It's supposed to be almost no hop flavor or bitterness to it. It came in at 28 IBUs, which is perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the cloudiness and the color, for a first time red, this is probably better than 50% of the commercially available
Ooh.
Irish reds out there.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
But that is one thing about an Irish red or gingers. Sometimes they're ugly. Oh, it's true
That
though.
one has too many friends.
That's awesome.
So, well, I guess let's kind of get into it. It's weird. I don't feel comfortable rating it, but
You were overruled.
Let's do it. So, shit. Fuck. I don't know. This makes me. Polly, hey, what's up?
Nothing, chilling, drinking.
What do you think of the beer?
I like it. When it comes to reds, it's just it's not usually I go to. You know, I like a little bit more, something a bit more kick. But when we were making this, it made a lot of sense for Will. He's like the whitest guy I know.
That's true. He's the whitest guy. I think we all know.
Go Dave Matthews, man.
Go D&B, dude. Go D&B. It is not the prettiest, but at the same time, I like something with a bit more substance, a bit more personality. And she definitely does has that.
Mm-hmm.
Are we rating it right now?
Sure.
I'm taking a sip. 3.5.
Oh, okay. I'll go next just because I want to get it over with. I actually agree. I like the 3.5 because it is tasty. I kind of want to give it more, but it's just so lovely.
Yeah, you're right. It
smells good. It smells incredibly malty. That was the one thing. I wish the malt smell wasn't quite. It's not bad or unpleasant or anything like that, but it is very malty smelling. But I like it. I'm proud of it. I'm glad it's being well received. This is not part of our I Tap That, even though it is an Idaho beer, mostly because, well, we already tapped it. It literally happened. So
Yeah.
it's kind of pointless to have that.
We tapped it.
Vic?
Man, yeah. I just want to say I think we did a good job here. I would give this a 3.5. It's nice. It tastes really good. It's dry. It hits all those Irish red notes that I like. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3.5. I would continue drinking this beer. It is visually unappealing, but hey, usually it's in a bottle, so that's all right.
So one of the other things that's interesting about this beer is I have noticed that it does change its drinkability with the temperature. That does play a very large role. Like I've had one straight out of my fridge and cold, like there's not much flavor there. Just drinking it straight here like this, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I like. I like it a lot. But I definitely had written down before any of you guys, before Paul, he's like told me the rating like while staring into my eyes from across the table. I had written down 3.5, and then I changed my answer. I was like, no, screw you guys, it's a 3.75.
There you go.
And then I also changed it back to a 3.5 because you guys are right. It is a 3.5 beer for me. Sean, what do you think?
All right. Well, I have a lot more background in drinking Irish Reds, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Irish Reds are something that we don't get here very often. Very specifically in Idaho, in your larger beer communities, San Francisco, Colorado, Portland, other parts of the Pacific Northwest, you may have access to more. And I've been to all those places and lived in those places. So I'm going to actually tell you this is better than you're rating it. If you were to drink it from the bottle and not pour it into a glass, so you never saw it and it never played that psycho perception game visually, and you were to put 4 or 5 of them in solid cups that you couldn't see through, that are commercially available, I think you would be surprised with yourselves. I'll give it a 3.75 as well, and I won't take that back.
I love it.
Good.
Awesome.
There are some things about this beer that make it so right, and that is, as I said earlier, I'm not sure if we're recording at that time or not, but coming in at 28 IBUs, and not just low IBUs, but understanding the type of hops that you use, you follow a recipe that first and foremost, at the core, is a multi-time award-winning recipe, meaning fundamentally it's been used over and over and over again for everybody's foundation, and then they put their own spin on it. Some of the things that I love so much about Reds is that you can use things that are earthy, like biscuit malt and Maris Otter, which give it a foundation so much different than a 2-row as your foundation malt. and the biscuit gives it a little more breadiness and maltiness that I feel really gives a red kind of its purest essence. And then the hops that were chosen are noble hops. They're not citrusy, they're not dank, they're not piney, they're very earthy and floral. So really to back up and say that you used the right recipe, that's only one piece of it. You actually did it the right way, meaning the volumes and the temperature and the timing that you used during the fermentation, during the boil, when you added your hops are all correct. And this beer is extremely drinkable. So I'll give it a 3.75 as well.
Awesome.
Thank you for the
Thank you
notes.
so much
Yeah.
for the note. That's amazing.
It makes us feel a lot better.
Well, I didn't feel bad about it by any means. You know, I think we try to be humble. We're very proud of our humility.
Sometimes,
Yes.
yeah.
But that's awesome. I really appreciate that feedback. And again, the help. And I'm already looking for other recipes because I'm excited to get this shit going again.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
great.
brew over at my house the next time you guys brew.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Sounds great.
Well, shall we get into the news?
Yeah, yes, please.
Let's do
Yeah.
the news.
What's your top notion?
What?
What's your top notion? What's your top note?
We're going to start with the next Disney live action remake out in the works. Motherfuckers. Did you know there was another one? Of course you did. It's just a matter of time.
Well, there's the Lion King that's coming out. There's another one after?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, what's that?
Hercules.
Oh.
Oh, you did not know this.
I did not know
thought
this.
for sure you would be the one. In fact, to the point, I don't think they have a director, but they have a Hercules, a Meg, a Hades, and possibly Philoctetes as well. Hercules, any guesses?
I really.
The Rock.
No. He is muscular. He is white. He is hilarious, a little goofy, charming.
I hope it's not John Cena.
No, it's definitely not John
Oh,
Cena.
good.
He's a much better actor. than
Hopefully
John
it's not Thor.
Cena. No, but you're on the right track.
Is it Chris Hemsworth's younger brother?
Liam.
No, you're further off track now.
Okay. Chris, the Captain America.
No.
Oh, dang.
You're Chris Pratt.
Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt. You got the
Star-Lord,
other
yeah.
one. So Star-Lord is going to be Hercules. Any guesses who Meg is going to be? You probably won't guess. I'll tell you. It's Anna Kendrick.
Oh, that's perfect.
No, I think that's
That
really
is
good.
perfect.
This is going to be
Although,
a hit.
maybe the most perfect one is Hades.
Are they actually getting
Another
James
person,
Woods?
no.
Oh.
Another person that I think James Wood is kind of crazied himself out of Hollywood. He does not have a very good reputation.
That's certified genius, though.
He's also certified fucking racist and asshole.
Yeah.
So, also, I'll give you another clue. He's been in a Marvel movie. That's the only clue I'm giving. And he's also white
For Hades.
and older. Why do I keep giving you clues when I
Yeah,
try to solve?
I know
Almost.
this isn't. I know this isn't.
You're on the right track.
What did he
You're
say?
on the right track, Paul. He said the collector, as in Benicio. But he's wrong, but he's on the right track.
I would say it's Thanos.
Nope. Paulo was much closer. Who's related to the collector in the Marvel Universe?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah! Fuck yeah! Jeff Goldblum is going to be here. That I am jazzed about.
Oh,
Dude, it's his birthday.
And the last one, Phil, is unconfirmed. As we know, was played amazingly by Danny DeVito in the first one. And rumors are in this one, it's going to be Danny DeVito.
Oh, good.
They got him.
I was wondering. I was
I'm
like,
so excited for this one though. Like this thing, I still have yet to watch a live action remake of any of these Disney movies. Not one.
still.
I fucking love Hercules so much, and with this cast, yeah, I'm a little on board with this.
I'm more on board with this than I am anything else that I've seen come out of that side studio of Disney.
I would be really curious to see who they cast as the two little demons. I'm spacing on their names right now. Panic and Pain and Panic.
Yeah. Who's the guy that was in Will and Grace? That was the other. big guy that was over the top.
yeah.
I kind of hope they cast him as.
He's pretty. I would
The
kind of like to
spider
see
guy.
what if you did like Seth Rogen and James Franco, Pain and Panic.
Uh-huh.
I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'd like it to be two people that have worked together a lot. Fuck, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. That could be fun. They have great chemistry together, and they're wildly different. You got your
Yeah.
tall, buff one and your short.
If you're gonna go with someone with like maybe as less amount of star appeal, the guy that was the I think it was number 4 in the Umbrella Academy, the gay guy that went back in time.
Oh, him?
Yeah, I think you could do him as the slender. Of
Do you
the
just
two
feel like
demons.
this has to be, one of them has to be a gay character?
No, not at all.
But now Disney's going to hear that, and if they feel like they're going to have to do that now, just for the
Well, they might.
this world. Anyways, I'm pretty excited for this. I think it could be a lot of fun, especially if they bring back Danny DeVito because he makes everything better. Name one thing he's made worse. He can't fucking do
There was a very old movie, but I don't know the name of it. It had gremlins and an airplane a long time ago, and then there was like an artist that was in like the little bubble underneath the airplane.
it. But it wasn't Gremlins or Airplane.
No, it wasn't either of those.
Okay,
But this was a
okay.
very bad movie, but he was in that movie, and it wasn't good.
Oh,
It
Lord.
wasn't good. He didn't make it any better.
So, for one thing, speaking of Danny DeVito, or not Danny DeVito, yeah, I guess it's kind of speaking of him. You remember that movie Twins in like 1990?
Yeah, with Schwarzenegger.
Whatever, with Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger. Apparently, and now this is all over the internet, Jason Momoa was at some Comic-Con in Texas, even though I'm sure you can't call it that anymore. Fan Fest, whatever they want to call it. And a fan question was, how would you feel about doing a Twins remake with Peter Dinklage? To which his response was, where the fuck do I sign? How fun would that be?
That would
I
be
loved
rad,
Twins as a
man.
kid, but I loved Arnold too. So I remember Twins and Junior. I was like,
Yeah, they were both good.
You like Junior?
when I was like 7, because they had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I
That's-
liked everything with it.
And he was
Okay.
like, kindergarten cop could beat my dad.
I wish so hard.
Man, I like Kindergarten Cop. Junior, like
Last
even as a
Action
kid, I was
Hero.
like,
Really?
on board with this movie. I'm sorry, I can't.
Was it because Arnold got pregnant?
I just the
That's
idea was
weird.
so absurd and like it
Mhm.
really had to rely on his acting chops,
Which
are
he
not
does
great.
not have.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys hear that Keanu, the most nicest man in Hollywood, has been asked to be in Marvel movies like a lot? Like they consult with him a lot,
Yeah.
trying to get him on board for different projects, and just hasn't found the right one yet. Anything that you guys would want to see him as?
In Marvel specifically,
Yeah, in the MCU,
for characters that they could work into the MCU.
but they haven't yet.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
excellent answer.
I've heard that. I don't know much about Moon Knight, the character. Is that I know that he is an Avenger.
Well,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
He's-
He's closer to one of the Dark Avengers than the main Avengers.
Okay.
Moon Knight is kind of like Batman, except he's way more mentally unstable and kind of likes to murder.
Yeah.
Oh,
Powers are given to him by some like Egyptian.
Just in God, when the moon does rise out, that's why he's called Moon Knight.
Yeah, because you can really only work on a full moon.
And also, he has split personality disorder.
Oh, schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Okay.
like 3 different Moon Knights.
oh, so like a blue moon, a half moon, and a full moon.
Like a Mr. Knight, a Moon Knight, and like a Sir Knight, I think.
I still like the idea of him being one of the Eternals.
I like that idea a lot too. I could even see like a Michael Korvac situation, which would be
Ooh,
interesting.
good answer,
Oh.
good answer.
Oh.
That'd be kind of fun.
Who's Michael Korvac?
Michael Korvac basically is like sent to Earth back through time. He doesn't really know who he is, and he ends up like sort of starting the apocalypse. It's kind of crazy. I talked about him a little bit on the podcast a little while back ago.
I would love it if they finally brought back. I think he'd make a fucking great Silver Surfer.
Oh, yeah.
A Norton Rad.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Norton Rad.
I can see him doing it.
It'd be kind of fun.
Sean looks so confused right now.
Or Kang,
That
Conqueror.
they're talking
I was.
about.
King the Conqueror?
Isn't
I don't think he's
that's
thick
the
enough
time
to
travel.
be King.
Yeah, but he's. Yes,
You-
like,
I guess. Well, yeah.
They
I
could
mean,
give him like
Josh-
shoulder pads. I mean, they did that with Shazam.
Well, they turned Josh Brolin into Thanos, so.
Hey,
Yeah.
confused is not the right word, but inadequate.
And
Definitely. I'm just waiting until you talk about something I know about.
We'll get there eventually.
At some point.
We'll find our way.
Okay. All right. I've heard all of those kind of tossed around, but I like all the answers. I really like Moon Knight. I hope that they'd be able to find a way to incorporate him more regularly,
I'm wondering. I don't think it'll ever happen at this point.
just because the character's so violent.
Correct, especially with the Disney ownership now.
Yeah.
I don't foresee that being a thing. But let's keep going along that Marvel lineup here, because this was just officially announced. We were kind of wondering since Venom crushed it, then they're going to do a Morbius movie, and then they're going to do a Kraven the Hunter movie. These are all officially separate from Marvel. 100% has nothing to do with Tom Holland's universe. To the
Right.
point to where, they want to make them all their own standalone. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to do that, because they definitely can't have another Spider-Man. And I guess Sony, it's 100% up to them, not Marvel, if they bring in Tom Holland to that universe or not. That was whatever worked in their contract.
So I get the Morbius thing, because you can do Morbius living vampire and have him be his own character, but I have no idea how in the world they're going to do Kraven the Hunter without Spider-Man. I just don't. But that's me.
I don't know how many people really want to see that. I'm sure you could do it if done right. I'm kind of wondering if they're just going to try and make Venom the Spider-Man in this one.
Oh, essentially make Venom the hero. And
Yeah.
then, okay, whatever. Interesting. Kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. It's interesting. It's like they're doing a Sinister Six almost, but
Yeah,
Well, that's pretty much
replacing-
the plan. But how the fuck can you do Sinister Six without Spider-Man?
Well, I think you just said it. Like, if you replace Spider-Man with Venom.
Like the Sinister Six includes, from what I remember, so they are doing Venom. Who else? So Kraven, Morbius. Who else are they bringing into it?
I mean,
Because we can see, that's the other thing, because if we look at the MCU, it kind of looks like they're trying to do the same thing, because you
Yes.
have Vulture over here, and Scorpion, and Shocker, and all these other things that they've alluded to.
and
Uh,
Mysterio.
Perfect. There you go. So it's like, now we're going to try to have two Sinister Sixes, is this? We might be getting Spider-Man overload.
Well-
yeah, like Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, Sandman, Vulture, Doc Ock. Like, yeah,
I don't know how they're going to do this.
I don't either.
I think this may end up being more of a clusterfuck down the road than Marvel and Sony anticipated.
Hollywood always seems to work in twos. I mean, you look at Dante's Peak and Volcano. Those came out the same year. Look at Armageddon and Deep Impact. Those came out the same year.
Ants in a Bug's Life.
They came out the same year. It's very much they come in twos. So the fact that this is happening, I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah, I guess we'll see though.
Cool. Going into beer news real quick. You know what? Before we go into beer news, we have another beer because I'm too thirsty. We need to stop and have another beer.
Well, I've already started drinking it too. I didn't even mean to. But
All right. What do we got?
whoops. So this is an interesting one. We've had a version of this on the podcast, but not this one. This is the legendary Dragon's Milk. Very popular beer from New Holland Brewing. This is the Dragon's Milk White, though, a bourbon barrel aged white stout. It is on the 6% alcohol, and they say it's smooth, creamy, and legendary. Again, I am a fan, for the most part, of the beer that comes out of Michigan. Very underrated beer state.
That whole area kind of by Notre Dame, Michigan, Chicago, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Grosse Pointe, just
We
all
don't need a
that.
geography lesson, Will. What's your point?
I was just going to say that you are correct, that whole area is super primed for really good beer. I think Toppling Goliath is also up in that area too, out of Iowa, or Pipeworks, something like that. Yeah.
You might be right. We'll find out later. But this is an interesting one. What's it say on Untapped?
So yeah, this is sitting at 6% alcohol by volume. There are no IBUs listed currently. It has an average rating of 3.88, derived from 9,600 ratings. Has a total of 12,000 ratings. And the description reads, Dragon's Milk White is a nod to New Holland Brewing's 20 years of barrel aging experience and a commitment to innovation in the name of flavor. The next legend to unfold in the Dragon's Milk family, Dragon's Milk White creates a full-flavored yet lighter stout drinking experience that presents familiar flavors in a completely unexpected way.
So this is an interesting one to me because I usually, and we've talked about this, especially this time of year, not huge stout fans because they sit so heavy. And I don't know if it's a psychological thing. One thing, the idea of a blonde or a white stout to me is just bananas, bananas.
Bananas.
But also how it seems to, and maybe again a psychological thing because the visualizations of it seems to sit lighter also. Am I making that up?
You look at this thing and it looks gold like an IPA.
Yeah, or like a cream out, like I said, because it does have that creaminess, kind of vanilla oak taste too. It's very good.
So I've had this before. Jerry, you just took a sip. Anybody else here have this or any kind of white stout before?
I've had some white stouts before.
This is my first one. Yeah.
Paula,
Yeah.
have you had any of this beer?
Nope.
Okay.
So I've had a few white stouts, but I think that what they do differently with this one is because it's in the tradition of the Dragon's Milk, it really does hold true to the milk stout character, even though it's lighter in body and color. I think they've done a good job creating flavor and weight and the kind of the creaminess that you get in the traditional Dragon's Milk. They're very, very good at what they do. 388, I think that's pretty right on after 9,000 reviews, get an average. I wouldn't put it any higher than that myself, 375, because they use the word stout. We expect something different.
That's a very good point. I'm glad Sean knows a little bit about, kind of what we expect when something describes itself as something. Whoops, so sorry. When
I'm the rookie. What are you doing?
He's so passionate in his pointing, he's slapping his mic stand.
I'm sitting in a new chair.
I don't know how to sit here.
I know how to sit here. No, just we expect if something says that it's going to be something, we expect that flavor profile will come through.
Yeah, let's say they didn't use the word stout. Might rate this a 4. Honestly, when it comes to the quality of the flavor profile, the mouthfeel, and the balance across the board, I might rate this a 4. But the fact that they use the word stout, it really doesn't play into what I think a stout is.
For shizzle. Especially a bourbon barrel aged stout on top of that. Fuck, I'll agree. I'll sit right there with you. 375.
Yeah, they didn't.
Because it's still good. And I can't remember. I left my receipt in the other room. It was not very expensive
I was
at
going to
all.
ask, how much did you pay for this?
I'm going to say, like, if you bought them as cans, it was like $2.85 or $10 a 6-pack.
Well, that's
Okay.
the right price.
So exactly where it should be priced. Yes.
I mean, this is there's nothing special about it being barrel aged and it being bourbon barrel aged on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were just to remove all of that and drink it as for what it is, it's pretty exceptional.
Like I said, the smooth and creamy, that is accurate for sure. Will, what do you rate it?
I'll go. I'm going to give it a straight 3.
Oh,
I find that the taste, it seems like it has like this weird like white chocolate flavor that just lingers on the
It's
back
supposed to.
on the finish, and maybe it is supposed to, but with something that's this light and supposed to be, in my experience, refreshing. Maybe it's just that I'm not a fan of it. I don't know. I haven't had enough of them to know better. So straight up 3.
okay.
Okay. I'm gonna do a 375 as well. I think it's got a good flavoring. The mouthfeel is intense. Like I took a sip and then I waited about a minute and then I noticed within my mouth I could still kind of feel it and taste it in there, just kind of coating it, which is interesting. But yeah, I think the flavors are complex. They have that sort of vanilla, just malty lactobacillus sort of characteristic, and yeah, I like it. 375.
I find the flavor evolving, like Big Cat said.
Very much.
You drink it, sit a little bit, let it chill out, hold her hand, make out later. You know,
Sure.
and this is that beer for me.
It's setting things up for it.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm kind of with Will as well. You know, when it comes to the milk stouts, they sit heavy for me.
Sure.
And this, for me, this kind of does as well. Maybe it's just my body, but I do like the taste, and I'll go with 3.5.
Cool. Cool.
All right, so overall, well-received beer.
Yeah.
I think so. Based upon that, if you want to try it or not, it's your fucking life.
It's definitely unique, that's for sure. And it's probably more readily available than other white stouts.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't choose it if you're looking for a bourbon barrel aged stout.
Definitely
Definitely not.
Don't choose it for that reason.
Agreed.
If you want something that's vanilla-y and
It's almost like spiciness. Are you like, am I wrong there? I'm getting like a spiciness characteristic for this.
well, that's going to be the fact that it was bourbon barrel aged,
Oh,
right? So that's playing on just the very back of your tongue. It's progressing as the beer warms up in front of us. But yeah, if you're looking for a bourbon barrel aged beer, you would never choose this one. The fact that they've done it for so long and they're so good at it, it makes me wonder what their original intention was for this beer.
It was aged for like a week.
Yeah, I mean, you can get more bourbon and more oak out of oak spiral in your beer for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that doesn't take away the rating that I would give it.
no.
Honestly, the quality of beer is outstanding. Like I said, it's 3.75, but I'd probably even raise it if it wasn't billed as what it is.
If it wasn't slightly misrepresented.
Right,
Absolutely agree.
Quality of beer on the palate, the fact that it's so complex and it develops over time as you're drinking it and it sits on your palate and it's warming. It's everything that you would want a complex beer to be. So I'd probably give it even a higher rating if it wasn't supposed to be a bourbon barrel aged white stout.
Do you think you'll try to make one of these type of beers? You know, bourbon barrel white chocolate, that white chocolate, you know, stout.
I will absolutely, for this podcast and for this group of friends, make a bourbon barrel aged white stout. And it will represent what a true bourbon barrel aged stout should be. And I will learn how to do it in a blonde colored beer. Because regardless of the number of batches I've made and the knowledge that I have, I can yield to their knowledge. I have no idea how to make this kind of beer.
Cool.
Excellent. I look forward to tasting that from you for sure.
Indubitably.
Mm.
Yeah, $5 word right there. Well, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's finish up with the news real quick and then get on to our main topic.
Some local news here. Mother Earth Brewing is now the largest brewer in Idaho.
Explain.
They are producing more barrels than any of the other breweries that are in town. It used to be Sockeye, and then it was held by Payette, and now Mother Earth is producing more barrels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that really goes to the term called packaging, which
Yes.
means they are bottling / canning more beers than any brewer in Idaho.
That's correct. Doesn't mean that more of them land in Idaho, but it's just something that I thought was interesting that they're having success out here, and I think that's been great. Like I visited their tap room since last time I was on cast, and dude, they got some good stuff cooking up. It's impressive. So keep an eye out.
Agreed.
All right. Yeah, they're a good brewery. Again, they're half Idaho, really, because they hail from California originally.
San Diego area.
But they do also, a lot of their recipes that they brew here, they are Idaho creations that they don't get from
Exactly.
California. So
Absolutely.
it's very cool. And obviously, I'm not sure what their roots are here, but they've moved here. They provide a great beer. And by all rights, done right by it. So
Well, let me tell you, they've hired so many other people from the brewing community locally
Oh yeah.
that have been here for a very long time, and it shows their willingness to integrate and to become something that is Idaho centric, even though they came from somewhere else. And I appreciate that so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when I talked with one of their heads there, they were very much adamant of like, dude, Idaho is my home. Like, I love Idaho. I love Idaho more than I love California. So, yeah. Jared, you got anything else?
I do. Just because let's see here. How much do I want to bring it up? I suppose I'm already talking, so I might as well. They're going to be doing a Red Sonja movie. I don't know if you guys know much about Red Sonja. Red Sonja actually is pretty much a female Conan the Barbarian. Started in that comic book, did a spin-off of it, and wildly successful, and by all rights may have actually surpassed Conan. Definitely.
Because she has boobs.
Oh, yes. Talking about one of the originally scantily clad fucking, just like, come on, guys. No one dresses like that. It's like literally just a single strip of red over the titties. And
Oh,
just,
gosh.
come on.
Like heavy metal.
Exactly. Exactly. Like heavy metal. But
We
I
need
think
to have a heavy metal night.
right. I think it's since then been kind of shored up to where it's a little bit more. But why I brought this up was it was being directed by Bryan Singer.
Ah,
You know how much I love
Yeah.
Bryan. Yeah, they fired his ass because he's a douche.
cool.
Smarty Diddles kids. But now it's going to be Jill Soloway. I don't.
I no idea.
So they brought in a lady director.
Exactly, and very specifically sought out a lady director for it. I think kind of the same reason Birds of Prey did, so they can try and not have it be an overly sexualized movie and actually maybe focus on story and action
Weird. All
instead
right.
of titties,
Yeah.
which seems absurd, right, guys?
I mean, let's be real here.
I hope for all our
Um,
listeners that you're able to detect the level of sarcasm.
No,
Jerry
go
just
fuck
had.
yourself. I don't care. It's not my problem. But I am pretty intrigued. She actually does have some good credits under her name. It's just nothing I've watched, like that Transparent show on Amazon.
I don't even know.
It's like they're one of their biggest shows. It's won a whole bunch of awards. But it's starring Jeffrey Tambor, and he's a dad that comes out as transgender, so transparent. That's where it is, and it's just that's literally all I know about it. I do really like Jeffrey Tambor though.
He's great,
funny as
yeah.
shit.
Super cool.
But it's just, I think this will be something to look forward to because they have tried a lot to do Red Sonja. I mean, they did it once in like 1985, and it was god awful. Was like
Yeah.
Bridget Nielsen or something like that.
That sounds about right.
And then they actually tried like 10 years ago to do it again, and it was going to be Robert Rodriguez and oh shit, what's her
I think
name?
I heard
I didn't
about
write
that.
it down. I totally should have wrote it down. Rose McGowan, because it was right after the success of Planet Terror. So he was trying really hard to pitch a movie with them, but it
Also didn't
didn't go
take.
through for one reason or the other. But who knows? I don't know who they would get to play her or anything more than that. But maybe it has potential.
Okay. Yeah. So that was your last news.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I've got 3 or 4 events here, real quick. That I'm just gonna rapid fire coming up this week. So just be on the aware of what's going on. Wednesday, the 26th. If you're in Boise, Pre-Funk down in Boise is doing a putt competition.
Dope.
Okay.
So that's going to be pretty cool. I think it starts at like 5 or 6, something like that. Just show up. Thursday, the 27th, Brewnomics will be at Homestead Brewing, and we're going to be
It's not brewing, it's just homestead.
Yeah, see, that was
Social
the inside
restaurant.
joke.
Pub and grill.
Pub and grill, my bad. Homestead. And
Fantastic tap selection.
Pretty good food.
yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be talking with Pelican and doing, some tastings as they do a tap takeover. So that'll be fun. This upcoming Thursday, come by and say hi. Friday the 28th, Avengers is seeing a re-release. They're trying to push so that they can beat
Avatar,
Avatar.
because they didn't beat it. And I gotta be honest, I think re-releases shouldn't count towards ticket sales.
No way.
Fucking
Well-
asterisk. Although Avatar did have a re-release, and that's part of the reason why the numbers are so big. So that's not all due to it. But it's just like, come on, you fucking. But it's not just a re-release. There's going to be a few extra scenes and a post-credit scene.
Yep, and there's going to be a big tribute to Stanley in there.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, cool.
Yep. And let's see, the 29th, Boise Brewing is they are going to be celebrating their 5th year in business. Hard to believe it's already been 5 years. And
Dang,
they're
yeah.
going to debut a new beer. And they are also having specials all throughout this week. So if you go in anytime this week, they're going to have pub specials going on with discounts. So, but make sure to hit them up. I believe it starts like at noon on Saturday. They're going to have food trucks out there. I think it's a hot dog food truck. Should be pretty good. So
Get yourself a grilled wiener.
yeah, and that's all I got. So if you're out in Boise or want to go see Avengers again, that's what's headed out this week.
Cool. All right. Thanks for that. All right. Let's wrap up with the news. Let's actually take a break real quick because this room is thick.
It's boiling.
I could cool down. So let's do that real quick. We'll come right back at you.
Cheers, Burger.
Well, and you have to piss like a pregnant.
We will be back. Bye-bye.
All right, we got a.
Ooh.
I am really sorry about all the banging of the.
Is that the end of news?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're gonna get into cars and more.
No, no, I'm just asking because, so I have a friend that's opening a brewery in Avondale.
Oh, we can absolutely bring that up. I'm going to get that.
And so he works at St. Luke's, close friend of mine, makes great beer. I've drank his home beer for the past couple of years. We trade beers and recipes. And
Yes, you want to give a
knowledge.
shout to them.
And they're opening, I got this up here, let's see. New brewery, more homes being developed in Avalor community this year. Yeah, so I got some information. there.
Is that the
one
place
way
that's
the
over,
fuck out
like-
of my life.
Yeah, Horseshoe Bend on your way to
Okay.
Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah.
I love how they just booby trap us. They all walk out.
You could have walked around. Yeah, I couldn't with the camera. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was
I've
just
learned
banging
that.
on you. man.
Oh, this way. Thank you, sir. Trying to include you a little bit more.
Oh, you're cool, man. That's mine. Excuse me.
Hey, YouTube, go ahead and enjoy all the splendor that is Ron Burgundy over there in the corner. Cheers.
Love you. Be back at some point.
Dude, I sweat so much. It's not even funny.
I'm little. I don't sweat much. My balls are tiny.
You heard it here first, you two. 'Cause we're live.
Our guest Sean's balls are tiny.
Yeah.
That's okay, because it's not the balls that matter.
That's right. Balls are small, it just makes your dick look huge.
That's right. I finally put these in the right ear. Halfway through, they kept falling out, and I'm like, why do they keep falling out? Like, oh, I guess I got to put them in the right ear.
That helps usually.
I don't see anything about price on the website.
I don't think there is a price. I mean, we're giving them free beer to judge. I'm wondering why we haven't been chosen as judges.
Bro, do you know how many times you want to join a competition that you have to pay stupid money to do so?
Oh, yes, I
This
do
doesn't cost
understand that.
anything.
Does it not? I don't know.
Well, it's because it's put on by the Western Idaho Fair.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's not.
That was one thing
No,
that
it's
I,
not.
It's not. It's
Oh.
put on by the Snake River Homebrewers Association.
it's just called the Western Idaho Fair.
No, I know. I'm just saying that the reason.
by the snake.
Yeah, the reason that they're able to have it at the fair is because the Snake River Homebrewers Association has offered up their certified judges. So this event is actually on the American Homebrewers Association website as a sanctioned, certified judged event.
Well, if it doesn't cost it, I don't see why the fuck not.
Yeah, he said just 3 bottles.
I'll sacrifice $3 for that.
Oh, of course you do. Come on.
Come
Oh, I don't have a sipping beer.
You out?
Oh, I guess I still have some.
Liar.
All right, Mike, just, why don't you
Lucille-
Dude, I'll get you another one.
Lucille's like water.
like a 6.5% IPA water. Oh, 7%.
I know. This
See, that's my favorite. This is
This
right
guy.
where it's at. That's the kind of beer what I want. Like my favorite IPAs that I've ever had are 6.5%, 65 IBUs with a little bit of spin on them here and there, but that classic Northwest style IPA.
I think that's what you're going to be brewing then, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just trying to find something to make it unique. You know.
Oh, that's me.
Exactly.
I will. We can make a 6.5%, 65 IBU IPA that
With mango.
will be mind blowing.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Green
I want.
tea?
What I want it to be. I don't know.
Okay.
About that.
Well, you just say what you
Whoa.
want it to be, and I'll teach you how
Then we'll
to
do
use
it.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to figure out is what I want that X factor to be. I'm not
I'm
quite.
telling you mango because you know you want to
I do
get
love
that
mango.
out, get that out to your family.
Right.
Mango's been up to any time.
That's actually pretty. But a lot of my so one of my foster brothers, his wife's Filipino. So there's a big Filipino connection in our family, and like mango is the Filipino.
Oh, okay, okay.
You want it off the mic a little bit. But
He doesn't. Guys, like, do you remember how he said he made his living? Well, yeah. He knows more than you do.
I was giving him a hard time. I hope he knows
Oh
that.
shit! I was gonna grab my tablet
Of
and
course
do the
I did.
Facebook for the rest of it since I.
No, you want your vocals to go through it.
Sorry, man.
Come back, guys.
Oh, is it already live?
There's been no singing this episode. I'm disappointed.
There has been those things, huh? I bring you.
Is that
Or
something
call
you guys
Will a
normally
radio.
do?
We normally do some kind of mic check thing where we try and harmonize a little.
Holy moly.
That's a TV show. No.
With Steph Curry? No.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it? Is that
Yeah.
the one?
And it is the ridiculous kind of celebrity cameo that you would expect. Like he's on the show for like maybe 4 minutes. It's kind of stupid how little he is on the show. That is. Oh, so we're doing our I Tap That Woodland Empire. They're gonna so the last Woodland Empire beer that we had was called the Beast Moans.
Oh, yeah.
And I picked it up from that Craft Brewers in Boise place.
Okay.
And we found a goober in it.
Oh, yeah.
What do you?
Like a snot, like a piece of snot goober ring thing. It was the technical term for it was coagulated proteins.
Yes.
Yes, we have never experienced that before. It freaked us out.
Did you eat it?
No,
No, Sean, no.
no, we didn't eat the snot that came out of the beer.
Why not? That means
We
now
just-
you'll never be able to understand and identify what it's like.
He's got a point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got a
I don't.
point.
It was so very unappealing. We were just like, what is?
Now, were there multiple of them or one single
There were multiple.
globule?
Multiple.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
Jerry ended up
I'm,
with one, and I ended up with
I'm
one.
disappointed. You should have scooped them out with a spoon and passed it around and ate them.
Well, I think had we known what it was, like, but we had no
We had-
reference to be able to understand what was in our beer, so
We didn't
just
know.
didn't understand it.
And apparently, we've heard that those are made by the beer going through drastic temperature changes. So at one point, it seems like they stopped refrigerating that beer at some point for whatever reason, and they still sold it. But I don't know.
Okay, did you drink the beer?
Yeah, I did. Yes,
And how did you feel the beer?
beer was all right. It held up. It held up. Knowing Woodland Empire, I feel like the beer probably was still ruined from their point of view, but I thought it held up okay. But again, from their point of view, I think it was. I don't think it was what they intended.
Well, you know, regularly available beer.
The Beast Modes.
Yeah.
I like their Battle Axe a little bit better, I think, as far as stouts go. You're like,
Well, Woodland Empire is hit or miss for me as a brewery in general, but over the past 1 to 2 years, their consistency and quality is improving.
yes.
Also, their ability to create new beers has grown immensely in the past 1.5 years. They made a beer for Pre-Funk specifically for Pre-Funk's 5-year anniversary,
Oh.
and it was phenomenal. It was a Imperial Hazy IPA brewed with Vic Secret, which is a hop, and Denali, which is a hop.
Well, Vic, I think the next whatever beer you end up brewing is have Vic Secret in it.
Yeah, we definitely
Big
need,
secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes sense. All right,
but we need to call it Vic's Secret.
I almost want to call it Vic's 44, but that's already taken.
And you need to put something in it that's really different.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, Steven, it's gotta be a root beer
Well,
float.
we don't want to make it a root
We just
beer.
call it
we
Vic's,
do
dude.
want to make it a root beer float.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's gonna be it. That's gonna be a whole 6 gallons root beer float.
Yeah, it's I'll do that when it's being cold.
Ready?
crashed. Yeah.
You ready? You ready? Hi, Cabin.
Oh, hello.
No.
Welcome back.
Hey, man.
Hey. That's one of my best friends ever. He's always in the army. He just got out of training for like what feels like a year.
Who?
Kevin,
Been in the army since right out of high school. He's watching.
he's our boy.
Oh,
Saw him
I
yesterday.
Don't worry about it, Sean. It's fine.
I got you.
All right. Say when.
You just bring us back.
I'll bring it back.
Okay. All right. Here we go. And so usually, and we'll do the I tap that, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
And we're back. I know that seemed like forever. At least it did for me. I missed you guys, but I'm glad we're all back together.
We did it.
We did it. You guys ready to drink some more beer? Cool,
Yes.
we're gonna. This is our I Tap That segment. Sean, I know you've heard a little bit about this. If this is your first time tuning in, I Tap That is essentially where we get a beer from Idaho, since, well, we're from Idaho. Drink it, judge it, and decide if it's good enough to tap. Are we gonna put it in a kegerator at home, drink it, share it with friends? Let's find out. This is from Woodland Empire. Napa Roots Boot Lager. There's pre-prohibition style lager coming in at 5.6%. All right. It's cool. Cool label.
I think I picked this up from Brewers Haven for about, I want to say $2.50 a can.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So the label, it's it's called Boot Lager. So it's got boot, it's like a little hobo boot. tipped over, and it actually looks like there's some lager coming out of it. And then I don't know what kind of bird that is. A chickadee wearing a cowboy hat.
Just kind of sitting there sipping on it a little.
So this one, we're trying to theme our ITAP that beers a little bit more appropriate to the season to give these fine brewers of Idaho a chance and not get, the weird shit in there so much. So I think this one will be perfect. I like a 5.6% lager. I'm already, based off the color and the alcohol percentage, this looks like a much better, less industrial kind of Budweiser cooler style beer.
Well, we're hoping it's good.
We're hoping that's good. Hey?
Always optimistic.
What do you got for us on Untappd? Anything cool?
Absolutely nothing, honestly.
Right on. Right on.
It has very little information on there. We're looking at.
Do we have any check-ins or anything?
There's 61 total check-ins.
No, that's not bad. Beer's been out a few days.
Right, 7 this month. It is sitting at 5.6% alcohol by volume, and it has no IBUs. It has a 3.48 from those 50 ratings. So
pretty new.
barely new. It doesn't tell me when it came out, but
Well, this is the this is the beer that they did with Nappy Roots. Okay, so they had Nappy Roots come in and they kind of collaborated with them.
We talked about that a while ago. Is that they're going to be doing a collaboration?
Because Nappy Roots is opening up their own brew house in Atlanta.
How fucking random is it that Nappy Roots and this random little Idaho brewery get together and make a beer? So apparently this is a rapper's beer.
sure.
What do you call a rapper's delight?
We're about to find out.
Hmm.
Smells like a lager. It smells like fucking Coors.
Yeah,
Coors.
I definitely get a domestic smell from the aroma.
Very golden smelling type of beer. Yes.
It's not bad though.
It's not bad. It's actually not bad, but it's actually like uneventful.
It's super uneventful,
As you would expect.
as you would expect a lager to be. But at least it's at 5.6. Because sometimes you'll have beers that'll taste just like this. It'll be like 4.6. Like, the fuck am I even doing drinking this watered down piss soda? But now, hey, 5.6. Now we're actually talking.
And it actually does carry, a very traditional flavor profile that's weighted. So it's not thin. On the mouthfeel, this is when they talk about prohibition. This carries what you would expect mouthfeel wise. So if you drink a Bud, a Miller, a Coors, or any of those other normal domestics that we have available today, they're all much thinner on the palate, right? So this is doing it right.
It is. It has less of an industrial taste to it because there's a little bit more profile. And the thickness, what a great
Great comment.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if I would have put that together, but the way you described it, I'm just like, yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't associate thickness with lager all that much.
No,
But
you
this
don't.
is
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But let's take away the word thickness. Okay, so in real beer terms,
the body.
Mouthfeel.
Okay.
Body is even something different. So mouthfeel is the way it feels on the palate, right? It's not by its weight. It's about what it does across the palate.
Like the viscous of it?
Yes.
Okay.
And so most all domestics are very, very, very thin. And and they're watery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a pure lager, as it should be, but also carries a little bit of mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
And you miss that with all of today's domestics.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that classic joke. What does having sex in a canoe and drinking Bud Light have in common?
Both get you nowhere.
They're both fucking close to water.
Wow. You said classic joke. That's good.
You've never heard that? Oh, for sure. I thought
Yeah.
I heard that before I even drink good beer. I love that. But yeah, this is a little bit more like that. Like I said, it does have a little bit more profile, a little bit more personality. It's almost like there's a some sort of floral spice note to it, or something
there was
like
something
that.
there at the end
Mhm.
of the tasting notes there. Just as like right after you swallow. Like
And
you
that
open
is
your mouth
going-
and then right after. There's
That's
just
going to
spice.
be the hops that they use, which
Yeah.
really depicts a true American lager or prohibition lager, or let's actually be honest, a European lager,
Sure.
right? So if we try to make lagers here in the States, but we don't do it right. And this is done a little bit more closely to what a European, a true lager would be.
Mhm.
Because of that spice, that comes from the noble hop,
Okay.
which is earthy and floral. And that earthy floral is what provides a little bit of that spice on the back of the palate when you swallow.
Are you okay, Jerry? Did you die?
I wouldn't take a sip and my microphone tapped me. So we it's
Okay.
in a different position.
I'm so
Everything's all
glad,
thrown
I'm so
off.
glad the newbie has not bumped his microphone even once.
We should all have to take a drink for that.
Oh, Jesus. I
Yeah,
apologize.
Sean.
All right, well, let's rate it then. That 3.48, I really like that rating. What was the price on this, William?
I wanna say it was
Here,
like
actually.
I hope it wasn't $2.50 a can, because that's a really expensive six pack.
It's $3 a can is actually what it looks like, or
That's way too
$3.50
much.
because it was $6.98 for two of these. So
That's
shit.
too much.
you have my receipt there.
Wait, no, this is last week's. It said Woodland Empire, so I got a little
No, that's wrong.
thrown
That's
away.
wrong.
No, that's a Woodland Empire B-sides rotating one. I don't know
Oh.
where this receipt is from, but it threw me off. What did you pay for this, Will?
I do want to say it was about 250.
About $2.50 a
Yeah,
can.
probably like yeah.
Think about that. That's a $14 six pack.
Well, they always upcharge you for singles.
No, I understand, but honestly,
I do think
That's way too
for a
much.
six pack it was like 10.50.
That's too much.
No.
This should be an $8.99 six pack. That's what I would feel comfortable paying for this at like Albertsons or something.
I think they're trying to.
I'd at least go, 1060 means that they make small quantity, right? It's not a cheap beer for them to
Well,
make.
true.
Because when you lager and you're not lagering on an extremely large system, this occupies a lot of space in their breweries, fermenters, and their bright tanks.
Oh, okay.
So
Yes,
you
lagers
have to
take a
understand,
while.
lagering takes a long time. And if you're
And-
not a high volume producer, this actually costs them a lot of money.
Plus Nappy Roots.
That's
Also.
exactly what I was going to say.
So I
Right.
retract that statement. I think that's fair. Good point. Good pricing. I'll keep it at the 3.5 range.
So really though, like looking at it, they've nailed the idea or the style of a lager fairly well, if not incredibly well.
Absolutely.
So I mean, as a lager, then it's a really good representation.
Yeah.
Not usually our style though, which is I think why we're kind of-
True. But again, this time of year, it's super hot right now. So this is definitely a summer style beverage. So yeah, 3.5 for me. Yes, I would tap it.
Yeah, I will double down on that 3.5 as well, just basically because they nailed the style of a lager and smooth, easy drinking on a summer day. I enjoy it.
I'm going to give this a 3.75, and here's why. What I'd like to see you guys / us do more often is drink more of really highly acclaimed beers within a style, so that you develop your palate to be able to truly understand where it comes from.
Have you listened to our podcast, Sean?
I have, but you guys don't do it for lagers.
No, that's
So
right,
this
we
is what I'm saying is that.
You're right. We don't.
So if what we're gonna do is through the summer, maybe pick some more lagers, then you should get some world-class lagers and drink them, so that when we put this against our palate, we have an understanding of a world-class lager.
Yeah, let's absolutely put that list together and we'll try to find it and drink it.
It sounds like we're becoming best friends.
Well, I hope, or you guys will just hate me at the end of this,
No, I love it. So
because I'm
would
being
you,
really honest.
No, we
That's
love
what
that,
we
yeah.
need.
Ah, dude.
That's
Would
what
you
is
tap
necessary. Would you tap it?
Absolutely, and I'd give it a 3.75.
Perfect.
Because I'd like to drink this against the Pilsner Urquells and some of the other incredible Pilsners that come from Europe, and put it side by side. And I think they did a really great job. I'm not going to go as high as a 4 or above, but I think a 3.75 is a really honest rating against other world-class Pilsners.
So if I'm honest with myself, I rated our beer a 3.5. This is good. I like our beer better. So I'm gonna rate this 3.25, just because, lager, whatever.
Yeah, like I said,
You're judging a lager to an Irish red.
It's my pick, Sean. It's what I like. Not what you like, what I
Are
like.
you tapping it?
That being said, it doesn't matter if I tap it. Everybody else tapped it. It's getting
Yeah,
tapped.
no,
What do you think?
These two have.
But,
It's only rated it so far. So
oh, you've only rated it? You don't know yet?
Two of us
Yeah.
have rated.
If I'm at a softball tournament, I'm tapping this.
Nice.
Yeah, because I don't want anything thicker. So hot summer days, yeah, I'll tap it. Winter, no, I'm not tapping it.
If I don't want to drink this beer anything past, I would say September. I think, just personally, because I'm a very seasonal beer drinker, and this definitely hits its stride in the summertime. And like if we're hitting October, I'm like, nope, I want something else. I'm not drinking this in the.
Well, and like all lagers, you don't want this beer to warm up.
Oh no,
No.
This
absolutely.
beer needs to be drank very cold.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Vic, Paula, would
So
you tap it?
did you tap it?
I did. Yeah.
Okay,
You tapped
okay.
it. You tapped it well. I saw it. I would tap it. I give this 3.2, 3.5. I didn't know it was a Nappy Roots. And when I saw the can, I was like, is this Nappy? And then you guys confirmed it, which made me harder.
I can see.
I
You got
know,
nice
yeah,
legs.
yeah. Men's pants are tighter nowadays.
Well, your pants just got smaller. That's what
Yes.
happened.
But yes, I would tap it and I drink it all day.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, great job, Woodland Empire and Nappy Roots. Find this beer, drink it.
Yeah, go pick it up. It's good summer beer.
Was it?
Excellent representation of the lager style as well.
Well, shall we, motherfuckers?
I think we shall, Jerry.
Now what we're gonna do, because Sean is our guest on here, and we of course want to make him feel comfortable and welcome. So our main topic this week was inspired by one of Sean's 3 passions that he said to us when we were there, and that is beer, music, and cars.
Yep.
And so we're going to talk about cars, since we're also already talking about beer.
Specifically, movie cars.
Yes, indeed. Movie, cars, trucks, whatever, as long as they have wheels.
That distinction is very important.
It is very important. But this is, just an array of our favorite movie cars. Not necessarily the movies. They don't have to represent the movie. They don't have to represent the actor. It's just specifically, that's a badass car.
Right.
So we're just going to kind of do a little conversational on this one. I have a few written down. I know Vic has some. I know Will has some. Even guarantee Sean has some. Paula, he's probably got some.
Oh.
So we'll see. Who wants to go first? What's the great? I think most of us have an agreement with maybe the greatest all-time movie car.
I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Should we say it?
And what is that?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. Yeah.
Yeah. Gone in 60 Seconds from the remake Nicolas Cage movie, just the Shelby GT 500 67 Mustang. Fantastic.
Nothing comes close.
That car actually sold for $2 million to a private place in Germany. I actually watched, there's this YouTube car reviewer. Her name is Supercar Blondie, and she just actually did a little episode on that specific vehicle. Check it out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to check that out, actually. $2 million.
$2 million.
Dang, that's actually.
From one of the, there were 6 hero cars in that movie. That was one of them.
So leading up tonight, when you said it was going to be movie cars, I really tried to wrap my head around what does it mean to be a movie car. So we can judge cars based on the car itself, right? The historic nature of the car itself, how badass the car is.
Right, yeah.
We can also look at it from its contribution to the movie industry. Did it change the way that we view and expect a car to be depicted? I tried to wrap my head around that before picking. there are James Bond cars, right? And
course.
I won't get too far ahead because maybe that's what some of your guys' choices were, but
Almost.
Almost.
There-
I thought about it, but then I deferred it.
Everybody almost picks the DB85, and then
Those Aston Martins from the old James Bond
Right.
movies, man.
right. So there's so many things. It's like, where are we coming from on this?
Mhm.
It's like, are we looking at how badass the car itself was? Are we looking at what it did to the movie industry? Are we looking at to the gadgets? No, and this is great because each one of us get to bring what we felt.
It's going to be wildly different. This is one of those really interesting ways that you're going to find out certain aspects of our personalities
Yeah.
that
Right.
it brings
And
out.
when I bring up mine, it's gonna really scare people.
Maybe. So like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be favorites. It could be whatever. So with Eleanor out of the way,
Yeah.
who's next?
I'll go first, actually.
Okay.
I looked at it from the idea of what cars do I really like in movies that bring something to the story.
Okay.
They have a storytelling aspect of it.
Ooh, okay.
So I'll get on to like my favorite because obviously that's it's almost impossible to not know it if you know me. But the first one that I wrote down and the first one that I thought of was the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters.
Noise.
Nice.
I like
Of course.
Yeah, the 65 Manhattan from Chrysler. That
I converted hers.
yes, I mean because it worked perfect for them.
It sure did.
It was a hearse.
That movie would not have been the same without that.
Without
vehicle.
that
No,
Ecto-1.
it would
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
It's a hearse. They can
Mhm.
contain all of their equipment in the back of the hearse, and it slides out. You know, and you see them take their proton packs out and their traps out of the
Dude,
back where the
that-
hearse would normally sit.
That
Where their-
proton pack rack was awesome.
It is, and I love it. But let's think about that. That's how powerful it is. There may be a lot of these other movies to where their central iconic car, whatever, you could have switched out with another one. Like Starsky and Hutch, it was a cool vehicle, but you could have put maybe any other cool American muscle car in there,
Absolutely.
and it would have had the same kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
There's not a single other vehicle on Earth you could have put in there that would have had anywhere near the same effect as
Yeah.
that. Like,
the red fender flares
Mhm.
on it, like everything about that car is perfect for that movie. It fits all four of them. They can all travel in it. It's got the very noticeable European style siren
Mhm.
that goes on with it. I love that car.
That's really
It's not, you know, like the car that you'd want to be seen driving necessarily without all the roof rack and lights and everything, but it worked for that movie really well.
And the idea here is that it's a character unto itself. I mean,
Yes.
that's kind of the idea, and that's kind of where my picks were with that, and that movie would not be the same without that car and the personality that the engineers brought to it.
So let's do a round like that real quick, Will. I want to have you continue to say more about
Yeah.
the Ecto-1 if you do. But after that, I really love this category. It's going to be maybe a little Cinefix inspired. Let's each kind of pick one from that where
Good.
another.
I've got three more that fit into that category,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that you guys name them.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Well, the next one, then I'll go with it that I think is one of the most iconic. It's not a powerful vehicle, but you can't think of this movie without this vehicle. And I'm talking about the 1979 Ford LTD Country Squire, aka the Family Truckster from Vacation.
There you go.
We're talking the wood.
With that wood paneling on the
Oh, great choice, man.
I want to say
Great
they used the same car in Harry and the Hendersons.
I think so, maybe.
It had like the 8 lights in the front that you could
Oh
light up.
A fucking ugliest piece of shit, dude. I love it. But man, that Family Truckster, that's another one where it's iconic to that movie. I can't think of another vehicle that you could replace out with it. And it is
No.
its own character within that movie.
Mhm.
It should have been on the billing, under Chevy Chase, Family Truckster.
Right there. Yeah,
Agreed.
that's fantastic. Do we know what that car was based off of?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, man, I'd be curious. Because that's fun. Because that'd be more what I consider almost like a fictional movie car in a sense, like it was created specifically for that movie, which I think most.
Well,
of these
I
are.
mean, those Country Squires were an actual family station wagon style vehicle
Oh, so
around the time.
Country Squire. That's
Mhm.
what. Okay, that's what. It's
Yeah, that's
based
the
off
actual
of.
one. It's the Ford LTD Limited Country Squire. That's
Oh, okay.
the actual
All right, gotcha.
name of it. So it is based off of a real vehicle, but
Very
like I
cool.
said, I've got more, but I'll just kind of leave it at that one for now.
Oh man, yeah, for me then I gotta go with the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT from the film Vanishing Point that came out in 1971. That movie was essentially a giant chasing with the car being a character unto itself.
Oh yeah.
Driven by the one and only Kowalski in that movie.
Kowalski.
That car comes with like, what was it? There were 5 Alpine white Dodge Chargers in that movie. And I'm impressed that's all that they had in that movie.
Well, and that's all that you needed. I mean, it inspired a whole other great movie, Quentin Tarantino's,
Death Proof.
which was and has one of the coolest drives and stunt scenes from one of the most
So
badass women on the planet, Zoe
So
Bell.
great,
Holy
yeah.
shit, she's the real deal.
Mhm.
Like that's what's and it was on. They straight up said in that movie, it's the Vanishing Point Charger.
Mhm.
PK, did you have one that you wanted to that kind of fits within that same movie tie? You guys both, neither of you got anything off my list so far. So awesome job.
Oh, I've got more.
Oh, I got lots of
I'm not gonna be on your list, but a good one that I always remember is the Toyota Prius from The Other Guys.
Oh, no way.
We're going to have sex in your car.
It's a soup kitchen.
That car just gets beat up and blown up, but still survives.
It really is its own character. That's a great pull, bro.
There you go.
Sean, you drove a truck here, but what's your other car?
Well, I have a 1971 Datsun 510.
Okay, no,
I
your
think you meant the Prius.
other car.
Oh, well, come on now. I'm not gonna say that loud.
Oh, that Datsun though. What a
No,
beautiful.
I will tell you, there's
Gosh,
been some things done in my Prius that nobody's ever done.
I have to talk with Will Ferrell about that. Okay, Sean, give us a movie card that's a character in and of the movie itself.
Well, I'm not gonna give away the ones that I'm gonna pick for later, but
Please don't. Yeah.
but as a character car, Christine.
Ooh,
I know you
yeah,
can
yeah.
pick any car, but the fact that Christine, because of the car itself, it has so much shape and character
Mm-hmm.
that there's not very many 21-foot long cars that were ever created, right? And the shape with the fins and the headlights and all of the body lines, there's not a lot of cars like that. So the fact that it has a female name
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that she was a bitch, she liked to kill people.
Yeah.
Love to kill people.
Yeah,
Also self-repairing. That car was
Self-repairing.
awesome.
And that was the thing. So it was a 1958 Plymouth Fury,
right.
but they used I think I read something they used 38 different cars for that movie, but only a handful of them were actually the Plymouth Furies, and they just pulled parts from other cars for the repairs that tried to look close to it.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So that's, I mean,
Cool.
there's a lot of different cars that you can only use for that movie. But Christine is one, I think, no matter what you plugged into it, I don't think it could be the same as the one they used.
Agreed.
No, yeah.
Absolutely, and it is. God, what a beautiful vehicle too.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna name the ones off my list then, and then that'll wrap it up for me. And I have a couple more that I can contribute for you guys, I'm sure. But the Turtle Van
Beautiful. Okay.
Great
in
choice.
I think the latest
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Out
the
of
one
the
with
Shadows.
Bebop and Rocksteady. Yeah, that one. To see that thing come to life. I mean, it was in the cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
but to see it come to life,
They
that
did
was
a
a
great
that was
job.
a feat of brilliance.
Hmm.
Moving on, the Batmobile, the Tumbler,
Tumbler is,
the Tumbler Batmobile.
it really is one of the iconic.
I mean, that gave such a weight to that movie. I think just seeing him rolling around in that tank.
Well,
pretty
and it
much.
seems like so much more like a real vehicle too that a rich, crazy, militant man would have versus like the Michael Keaton
Yeah, I mean,
Batmobiles and stuff that you clearly could not turn.
well, and here's an interesting fact about that is that Christopher Nolan that was the first thing designed and built for the
Mhm.
movie, and in fact was
Oh,
the
really?
whole movie
Yep.
was designed around the Tumbler.
Mhm.
Okay.
because it's such an iconic part of who Bruce Wayne / Batman is. So I thought that was incredibly amazing too. So but yeah, great pick, man.
It flies on red tops.
I do like the 91 Batmobile better though. It's my favorite Batmobile.
It is.
I don't
It is
care.
more.
I
It is
don't
more
care.
So impractical.
It's great. Shut up. It's what it is.
Moving on from there, we have the Dumb and Dumber Dogmobile.
I had
You mean a
I had that one
1984
too.
Ford Econoline mutt
Yes.
guts?
Yes, the
I
mutt
totally
cuts.
have
The
that.
mutt cuts. Where you have to lift.
Facebook we have a suggestion here, the Delta 88 from Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice pick.
Great
Very
choice.
nice.
Great
Very
choice.
cool.
And then the Lotus. I know we've talked about Bond cars before. You know, and obviously, you know, like the DB85 is kind of like the classic one. They brought that one back, I think, in a couple other films, even from, I think it was, yeah, it doesn't matter. But the one that I remember the most from Bond films is the Lotus Esprit. Esprit.
The twin
Which-
turbo V8. Yeah, it's a fantastic vehicle.
In that movie, that is a submarine car. They turn it into a submarine.
yeah.
They drive it off a dock,
It did
trying to get it.
Heavy modification.
Yes.
Heavy.
They drive it off a dock to get away from a helicopter that's shooting a machine gun at them, and they just submarine it. It's awesome. It's in the movie The Spy Who Loved Me. And then the very last one, and I think this was the most important in terms of story and perspective that I got, was I want to say it was like a 96, 97, probably 96 Ford Explorer Panoramic in Jurassic Park.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a Jeep?
Nope.
Nope, it was a Ford
It was a
Explorer.
Ford Explorer,
100%.
but it had that top on it.
Okay.
It was all glass, so you could see
A
up.
moonroof. Yeah.
And I loved that. I always remembered that as a kid and thought that was brilliant. And it plays into the storytelling too, where the T-Rex, you know, spoilers for Jurassic Park from way back in '95.
Yeah, get on board. Watch it.
Yeah. You know, just decides to come through that giant sunroof and attack the kids inside that Ford Explorer. It was just amazing to me.
So I have one more to contribute.
Oh,
and then I
please.
think, unless anybody else, anything, we could be done with this.
No, I haven't even said mine.
Okay, so Sean, I'll let you go ahead real quick then, Sean.
All right, so this is going to say a little bit about my personality here. So,
Perfect.
Death Proof
Mhm.
with Kurt Russell. What makes it so incredible, the cars themselves, is that instead of him using the cars to kill people, to run them over, he made it so he couldn't die in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he could kill the girls that he picked up while they're sitting beside him in the car.
So, God,
And-
what a movie.
And
What a mind job on that guy.
yeah, and if you really think about it, so now let's get to the cars then. So the two cars that he chose. Now, this movie doesn't have one car. He actually utilizes two different classic American muscle cars. The first one is the Chevy Nova, and it's 1970, 71. People will argue, but that's because it's a movie car.
Mhm.
They used a bunch of different parts.
Sure.
A couple different cars. So it's a 1970 Nova, right? The girls, wreck him so bad that he has to get a different car.
Oh,
Right?
okay,
That's
right.
So that's
right,
what
right.
makes it so great is the girls actually fight back,
Mhm.
and he wrecks it so bad that he has to get a different car. So then he pulls out the 1969 or 68 Charger. And so I think that the fact that he doesn't use the car to kill people, but he does, but nothing like any other movie,
Mhm.
right?
He makes it so much more personal.
And here's a bit of trivia. So the license plates on those cars are homage to the greatest cars in movies of all time. And this is something I don't think very, very many people know. So Stuntman Mike's license plates was the same license plate on Steve McQueen's car in Bullet.
Oh, are you kidding me? The
Oh,
no,
1968
no,
Mustang
nobody knows
GT390?
right? and the license plate from another movie that maybe none of you have ever heard of or watched. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Nope.
Nope.
So
Never seen it.
now, growing up as a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch those kind of movies, but I kind of snuck and watched Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Mhm.
And this is a movie about a guy and a lady that are really on the edge, and they go out and they do the craziest shit you've ever seen anybody do. And they're against the law and they're going to die doing it. And so the license plates on the two cars in Death Proof are the same license plates from the cars in Bullet and Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So there you go. There's
Absolutely
my contribution
amazing.
as a newbie.
That's
There you go.
phenomenal. That's what a
awesome.
contribution.
Yeah.
Man, I remember watching Death Proof with Kurt Russell, and it was the first time I ever saw Kurt Russell as a bad guy. Right, so I grew up with him in fucking Tombstone and Big Trouble in Little China, Universal Soldier, The Thing, whatever. Where he's always
I grew
trying
up with
to,
him in Disney movies.
right, and then to see him, I swear to God, Will, get this shit away from him. They're fine. We don't need it. We'll get there. So, but to see him, and that was the first time I saw him as like a bad guy, and not just that, but he was so charming in the beginning, and then just the way he can turn into like such a believable, remorseless psychopath. Man, it fucked me up.
When
And I was like
you're-
25 when I watched that movie. No, it was younger than that, like 21, but still, that
Made
was
you not want to walk home in the dark. Huh?
God.
When you are a washed up stuntman,
Love Kurt Russell.
that's what you do.
Yeah.
You prey on hot women with short shorts and great boobs, and then you kill them in your car.
Okay. My last contribution, then we're going to drink another beer, but I promise I'll make this one quick. And I can guarantee this is the ugliest vehicle on the list.
Oh boy.
Okay. I'm talking about a 1976 AMC Pacer, aka the Mirthmobile from Wayne's World 1 and 2.
Oh, yes. Yep.
It is iconic. And unlike all these other ones where they had, 20 to 30 different vehicles, one was used. Not that they had to do any stunts or anything to do that, but heavily modified because they had
Just
a
an embodied Garth.
Well,
That whole thing.
also we get the resurgence of Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen right in that specific scene. in
After that
car.
movie came out, that song charted higher than it did originally. It was the only time the song reached #1 because of fucking Wayne's World. And what's even better about that, go back and rewatch Dana Carvey singing it. He'd never heard the song before. He just listened to it on repeat that day before, but he couldn't pick up the lyrics. So if you go back and you look at Mike Myers and all the other guys, they're spot on. And then Dana Carvey, it's so obvious, no fucking idea what he's singing. And it adds so much more charm to that scene.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's great, even just for the character. That's
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't care what he's singing. He just thinks he's singing it.
He's just going, he just wants to be a part of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good for that category. We can drink another beer. Does anybody else want to take a quick break? 'Cause I gotta pee.
No, we can.
No, I'm good. You're fine, man. Let's go.
I'll come. You come. Well, I'm gonna okay.
All right.
Start pouring. I'll join in a minute. Whatever you guys want to do.
Nick, why don't you do yours, and then PK, if you wouldn't mind pouring for us, and we'll come back with you, PK.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe Jerry will be done by then.
So while Jerry's doing that, one of my favorite cars though would be from the movie Need for Speed that came out. This movie was kind of, I don't know if it was panned per se, but I thought it was a really good movie. And
Agreed.
so the main car in this movie that Toby Marshall drives, the main character, is a 2014 Ford Mustang GT S197. That's broken down and fully rebuilt in this movie. It probably produces like over 1,000 horsepower fictionally in the movie. However, it is built on the platform of a 2014 Ford Mustang GT S197, which is the code name they used to name this particular vehicle. But that car has stock 662 horsepower, 631 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. So coming out from there, like it's just a beautiful piece of engineering. And I'm a sucker for Mustangs. It's probably one of my favorite cars. I've loved it ever since I was a child.
And what
It's
year is
never
that
changed.
Mustang?
It was 2014.
And it
That
came
was-
with over 600 horsepower?
That was after the redesign, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looked more inconsistent in line with the 1960s version fastback of the Mustang. So yeah, so it looks. This is an image of the vehicle in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely has the stylings, you know, with on the ones that you'll see more today with like the scoop over on the off the back tire and you know the nice Cobra looking front end on that the bumper.
Well, in the movie, the car features a heads-up display, which is quite interesting on this. That's clearly not what the case is in real life, but they did that, which I think would be super cool. Oh yeah, it features like ram air intakes. We have brake ventilation on the sides. Yeah, Brembo brake kit. That is fantastic and does its job quite well. Yeah, and this car is just. This is the character in the movie. They need this vehicle to get from New York to California in like 48 hours, and they just break every law known to man. Like it's my like modern day version of what Bitcoin is. It's fantastic.
Great. Dude,
Yeah.
that wonderful contribution. That needs to be named. I'm surprised that because I love that movie. I forgot all about that
Well,
Mustang in there.
and that movie's super cool. The coolest
just
thing
the
about
cars
that
in
movie
general,
is
yeah.
the way they did the sound editing and the sound design in that movie. They captured, like, they had microphones next to, like, a 2014 Ford Mustang, and they just captured that vehicle, like, revving all the time. And they put that, and they utilized just Foley in the movie. So they put that sound in.
Yeah,
so
they-
it's all real sounds from
They went
real
and did their
vehicles.
own sampling for it. When a lot of times on movies they'll take pre-existing samples.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, and I don't know how much you talked about this, so I hope I'm not stepping on toes here. My favorite thing about the movie is that there's no CGI except for enhancements, like with some of the explosions.
Some of the flames.
All the driving, everything was 100% legit.
Mhm.
Like Aaron Paul's ability in that movie is next level. I think we've talked about this before. Watching him on Top Gear, I'm sure you watched Top
Oh,
Gear,
yeah.
right?
Love that.
When they did the celebrities run the track in moderately priced cars or whatever, like how much he dominated
Ooh.
over every single other celebrity was mind blowing. So it added so much realness to that. So I agree, that movie does not get the credit it deserves.
Mhm.
What a great thing.
Thanks,
And what a
man.
beautiful car.
So I love that. I've always loved Mustangs ever since I was like
You and I are on the same page
my
right there.
very first car was a 1986 Ford Mustang, and it was the worst piece of shit I've ever had.
I remember that. Wait,
It's
no, I don't. The
you probably-
Camaro is what I remember.
Oh yeah, that was in '91.
The Red
Camaro.
Dragon.
God, I still love that car. It was a piece of
God,
shit.
those 86, those things were so ugly.
It was so bad, but I was like, I have a Mustang, and that makes it worth it for me. So right there, yeah.
Have we heard from Paul? From Paula? Sorry.
Polly, what's going on?
Have we heard your vehicle?
Polly K, what we call me.
PK.
Well, I do want to talk about my favorite Batmobile, and it is in my Tim Burton Batmobile.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you
Validated.
brought that up.
Well, you know, it has a jet turbine engine. Number one.
Number one.
Number one.
The only vehicle that we talked about that has that.
So, you know, it goes from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds.
Just no big deal.
329 miles
Yeah.
per hour,
Sure.
whatever,
Top speed.
whatever.
That's great.
It has all the technology in the world. Before that time, it also had a CD recorder.
Sure. It had a CDRW in there.
Yes, it did.
Damn, that's great.
Yes, it did.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I
That's so
remember
ridiculous.
because it had to back up like when the Penguin took over the car. Oh my god, that's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it was built upon a Chevy Impala with a V8 engine, the way they made it, which is pretty cool. My favorite fun fact about this is that Michael Keaton's ears on his original costume was too big for the cockpit. So he had to wear a different cowl when he was inside the car.
Oh,
Smaller
interesting.
ears.
I had no idea.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it looked.
I didn't know that either.
You know, it's just badass.
Super badass. The cockpit, the canopy that was in.
Two-person cockpit. Yeah.
So great. Thank you, man.
It's
Thank
very
you.
sleek.
Have
and
you ever
cool.
had a chance to see that car in real life?
No.
Do wet dreams count? That's not real life.
No,
is it?
so the car has and still does go on tour.
Oh, yeah. There
Yeah, absolutely.
There's
Great.
so many replicants of it. Oh, another Facebook recommendation. What about Knight Rider for all of us old folks?
Yes.
I was wondering,
The only reason I did not bring up Kit is because movies. We're specifically talking about
Right,
movies,
right.
which is also I didn't bring up like Starsky and Hutch with the exception of the replace with any muscle car sort of thing, even though that Ford Galaxy is beautiful. Isn't that what it is in there?
Well,
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino, thank you. I knew I was wrong.
and I am gonna throw this out there because nobody said it, but I'm going to, because the most iconic car, of any car movie ever, is Smokey and the Bandit.
Exactly, that Trans Am.
I mean, it
yeah.
really is, but I didn't pick it because it's just a Trans Am.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's like the Ron Jeremy of cars, just greasy, stashy, big dick, powerful.
Stashies
BDB.
are really good.
Driven by Burt Reynolds, man, the only guy who can make laying down look sexy. Yeah,
Right.
outrageous.
I know Jeff Goldblum.
Does a good job. Does a
He's
good
pulling it
job.
off too.
There's a statue of him in London.
Yeah. So, or you could talk about the general from Dukes of Hazzard too.
Right, but that was
Minus
TV,
the
of course.
Confederate flag. So
Right.
that's our TV round. Back to movies. I should have had something after that. huh?
Yeah, you
I
kept it
assumed
back to
somebody
movies.
was just gonna chirp in for me like we were a team here.
Well,
but
okay, how about Mad Max?
Yes.
Let's just say
Which
it.
one from Mad
Nobody,
Max, though?
nobody said it.
How about-
I almost said it. It's the.
So you're talking about the original one with Mel Gibson?
I would say the very original, because when you watch that movie, you never saw something like that. All the other movies after that,
Shit, even the Fury Road, I still don't think when I saw that, I never saw anything like that. Both of those, the first Mad Max and Fury Road.
so what is the vehicle from the very first Mad Max?
Isn't it a?
It's an interceptor, right? Well, I guess that's what they call it in the movie.
A Jensen Interceptor? No.
No. I checked.
I'm taxing my own brain on this one, so you guys might have to look it up. I believe it's an interceptor, but the interceptor just means it was a patrol car. It was a police vehicle.
Mhm.
So you might have to look that up really quick with your fast typing.
The
I have a
movie.
Ford Falcon?
That sounds right, because I remember it being a Ford, but I think they did
Yeah.
the Ford Falcon Interceptor.
It was-
right? That
yeah.
was the police
It's
model.
Yeah, so it is a Ford Falcon XB-GT Coupe 1973 V8
There you go.
Interceptor.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the original. And when you watch that movie, had you ever seen anything like that in your life, in a movie, that visceral, that abstract? There had never been anything.
No way. Well, and I know we already talked about it, but both the first time I ever saw a car scene in anything that blew my mind was Bullet. It was that Mustang and that Charger. That, what was it, the 67 Charger or whatever they had with it, through San Francisco?
Bullet? Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
San
so.
Francisco,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, it was San Francisco.
And one of the just the dopest chase scenes of all time in that green fucking Mustang. God damn, I love that car.
Yeah. Moving on to the Mad Max Fury Road, they had a car in there that was custom made. It was they called it the Giga Horse.
Yeah, now that's something way out of
Left field.
or
Yeah.
extraordinary craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it actually ran. The thing had
Did it really? Oh, of course
yeah.
it did.
yeah.
It's like a monster truck.
Yeah, what they did was if you can imagine the Ghostbusters car, right?
Right there. That one.
The Manhattan, what they did was they took one of those and they slapped another one right on top of it. And then on the back, they raised it up so high that it was like a monster truck. And they put tractor tires and they welded 2 tractor tires together just for one side of the wheel. So this thing has 4 tractor tires on the back of it. Just look up Giga Horse on Google and you will be amazed. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's
You've got
wonderful.
to.
It's a great movie. You've just got to.
And talk about another one, minimum CGI. That was what was amazing
Yes.
for it. It was mostly just for enhancements with the explosions and stuff, but all the driving,
Safety.
the polecats, freaking Christ, that movie was amazing.
Real quick, we have another beer in front of us, and I'm running out of it rapidly. What is this beer called?
Oh, snap. That's right. I've been just drinking this catch. This is such a fun topic. This beer is from Toppling Goliath Brewing. They're a pretty good brewery out of Indiana, Decorah, Iowa, right? I'm an American. I'm not good at geography. This is their Hop Smack Double India Pale Ale.
that's also why I offered up, all those different breweries from that, Michigan.
Ooh, they have
area.
live yeast in this
region.
one. So,
Yeah.
or it says live beer, so I assume that means yeast. Please refrigerate.
It has been refrigerated.
Yes, it has.
So Toppling Goliath is mostly known for their Pseudo Sue beer, which
And
we've
their
had
King
on here,
Sue,
and
which we've had
the
on.
King
Mhm.
Sue, which we've had on. The
Both
King Sue
delicious.
was a Brewnomics recommended
Fire
beer.
Skulls and Money, also a delicious one from these guys. They do these really good, thick, juicy, fruity,
IPAs.
hazy IPAs.
I don't even think they're hazy, but they're definitely IPAs, and
This
they're
one's
cloudy.
not, but some of them
they're
are
cloudy to color. They're not filtered for sure, but I don't think they're considered hazy.
Well, you have to understand what a hazy is and how they get there.
Have you ever brewed a hazy?
So, yes.
I've heard it's hard as fuck.
No, it's very easy.
Oh, somebody lied to me then.
So, and you invited me. So,
I haven't tried to brew one. I don't know.
no, so hazies are typically produced by using rolled oats and wheat that stay in suspension, right? This beer is very fraught with yeast in a good way. So if you look at it, it'll collect at the bottom of your glass. And when they say a live beer, that means they
Jesus Christ, Will. Pouring one out for a homie?
Yeah.
Your glass is all less than half full, trying to look at this color, this motherfucker spills on the floor. I hope you guys are watching live to see that
I've
shit.
got a lot of sediment at the bottom of mine.
So is that sediment that is yeast then in suspension just falling?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I don't know this brewery very well, and I don't know what their take or their desired outcome is. But you read the can, right?
No, I have not read the can.
Oh, and it says something about being the live beer.
Well, it does say live beer. Please refrigerate. So you started to get into that before Will so rudely interrupted by
Yeah,
spilling his beer.
So
on
go
the floor.
ahead and read that.
Well, here's what it says, and then you can kind of fill in maybe something. Just on the side of the can. Hopsmack is here to rescue your palate as giant aromas of pineapple and tropical fruit jump from. I can read, I promise. The line on the label is halfway through that, so I'm doing my best on
We're
that.
good.
Fruit jump from this enticingly complex double IPA. True to its name, the brew delivers heavy smacks of dry hops and a double dose of bitterness in the finish. Doesn't say anything more about the magnitude other than that.
Okay. I would say that what we're seeing in here is not only hop particulate and yeast, but they might use a little bit of rolled oats.
Interesting. Okay.
Rolled oats will give you kind of a slickeriness
Okay.
on your palate. So let's take a drink and think about that.
I think this beer is fantastic for the record. They've definitely got to use some sort of citra or juicy style hop on here.
No, they do. But it also still carries more bitterness than you would get
Yes.
from a traditional New England style juicy.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm on their website and
In a good way.
they
Okay.
say this is sitting at 100 IBUs.
Oh, wow.
It's obvious, right?
Mhm.
So it's not a New England style. When they say hop smack, it's true. What they're trying to say is even though it's citrus hops, they're gonna put it in your face with a level of bitterness that is predominant. I would say that their malt character though does balance it out pretty well.
Is this a single or a double?
This is a double.
Okay, so then
So this is what, 8 or over?
It's actually 7.8. Well, that's what it
Okay,
says
so
on.
that's what I'm saying, 8.
I checked their website. It's
Yeah.
concurrent 7.8%.
Okay, yeah, so 8-ish. The bitterness is definitely different than what you're going to get from some other hazy IPA.
Yeah, this is a good one because I love the IPAs. I love the doubles. I like them thick. I've been backing off a little bit more on IPAs lately. But this one to me, even though it's called Hop Smack, it's 100 IBUs. You think it's going to be a big one. And there is some bitterness to it, but I think the way they utilize the citra hops, even though there is that, makes it a lot more gentle. It's not, to me, it doesn't sit very heavy. Like it's airy, it's fluffy, it's a little viscous, but it doesn't just kind of
I don't know. I don't feel like I need a nap after this like I do with some double IPAs.
Well, let's talk about
It's
that.
it's crisp.
Let's actually
It
talk
has a
about,
crispiness.
let's talk about IBUs.
Sure.
The most wonderful thing when it comes to measurements of alcohol and bitterness and sweetness is they all play with each other. So you can have a beer that's 120 IBUs, but if you leave residual sweetness, they're gonna drink like 70 IBUs. And that's what most people don't understand.
Mhm.
When you're looking at a menu, you're at a pub, you're at a brewery, you're looking at a menu and it says 7.2% and 100 IBUs. It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. And we've tried to make that point to where, and you know a lot more about IBUs than we do since you actually know way more about brewing than we do. But that is the loosest judge of a flavor profile.
It really doesn't mean anything. I can make a beer that's 100 IBUs, which you guys just drank. It was 120 IBUs actually last week, right?
Yeah.
And it was 120 IBUs, but it had enough malty leftover residual sugars where it was balanced. I can make a beer that's 70 IBUs and would bite you in the face
Exactly.
with bitterness, right? So it's how you craft a beer. And I would say that at 100 IBUs, they crafted this really well. So you get hop smack, you get it in your face, but it's not overpowering. It doesn't make you go, right?
Right.
It doesn't make you do that on your palate. Makes you do it just a little bit, like it should. But they left enough residual sweetness in there where it's got a nice balance.
This is an incredibly fucking high rated beer on tap. We're talking a 4.15 with just over 2,000 ratings and 2,400 check-ins.
I wish I hadn't said that
Why?
because I was about to give my rating.
Oh,
Well, you had your rating before he said that, right? Then we'll give you the credit.
No, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
fine.
I was going to give it a 4.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's right where it is. A 4.15 is definitely higher than average, but this is a better than average beer. Where'd you get this one, Will Tavor?
I got this off Tabor, yeah.
Okay, what was the price?
I want to say it was right up above the other Toppling glass. I want to say I think I paid like $6.50,
A can?
or maybe it was. I think it was $5.50, and you had to buy 2.
Yes, that sounds about right.
16 ounce can.
For a pint, yep.
Okay.
For a pint can. So and that sounds about right for this. Is 2 for $11.
Yeah.
That's right within their ballpark, which is fair pricing, especially off of Tavor, because you know they definitely get that upcharge on there. So yeah, 4. I'm right there with you. Great beer. Paula, Vic, Will.
I had written down 4. All the notes you guys just said. I think it's refreshing. I think there is a crispness to it. For a double, I'm surprised at how well balanced this is.
Mhm.
Normally you have an either overabundance of malts or you have an overabundance of bitters. The way that it just plays and kind of it sets itself up, even though it is a double and it's at that higher ABV, it drinks more like a standard IPA.
They're calling it a double, but it's 7.8.
Exactly. So it's really kind of not because you have to hit that 8 to officially
It's
be
not
a double.
8.5. It's not 9.
Mhm.
It drinks exactly like a 7.8.
It should be double, and that was
With
quotations.
Quotations with your claw hands, like the Lego guys do.
I like how we just had a comment on here from Adam that was Nicolas Cage gone in 60 seconds. You could pick a bunch.
Thanks for tuning in, Adam. We just talked about that. Love you.
That was literally what we started with. Was there's nothing better
Then Eleanor.
than Eleanor.
Well, maybe he wasn't there when we started.
Oh, he wasn't. I know, but I know I have to give that guy shit.
Props. Hey, from the new guy. Props.
Yeah. Big
Plus, thank
Paula?
you for watching. You're amazing, man. Yeah. What do you got? What do you think, Paula?
It's a little bit of a little slap and pickle.
Okay.
Is that it? Yeah, sure.
Flat and
A
pickle.
little bit. I wouldn't call it a smack, but I definitely, I would drink a whole 6-pack by myself with this particular beer.
It's
nice.
refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
all day.
Invite me over.
Yeah, I will.
I'd like to see you after a 6-pack.
For me,
Paula either gets
my pants are just being off. 4.0, I definitely agree with y'all.
Okay.
Right
Are the
on.
pants off at beer 1 or beer 4?
depends on how hot it is.
Before beer
normally.
1, I think.
Before I was gonna say, maybe we start the night with our pants off.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 3.75. I do like it. It's refreshing, but it also has a buttery nature to it, which is interesting to me.
You know, that's like the worst thing you can ever say about beer.
The worst?
Yeah.
Why?
Because butteriness comes from a bad process.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what it is, though. It coats my mouth. It's
Okay, but it doesn't taste like. Are you saying it tastes like movie popcorn butter?
no.
Okay, good.
It's the
So
butteriness
really-
comes from the mouthfeel.
Okay, be really clear.
Sorry about
Because-
that. Yeah.
Butteriness, like movie popcorn butter,
Yeah.
is the biggest faux pas and slap in the face you can ever give a beer.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. No, I worked in a movie theater for a very
Yeah.
long time.
Dimethyl sulfate, DMS.
Oh,
Or I meant diacetyl, comes across as butter, like from a movie theater.
interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well,
be really careful.
the butteriness comes only in mouthfeel alone because of the way
Gotcha.
that it coats my mouth. It feels like a buttery nature to it. So that's how I was describing. So thank you for correcting on that one.
No, it's not about correction. It's just making sure that if you use a terminology for the beer community, that they know you don't mean the bad way.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, that's a good pickup. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah. No, I like it though. It is refreshing, but yeah, it has that buttery sort of mouthfeel to it for me, which is interesting. And yeah, that's kind of where I leave that.
Did you rate it?
Yeah, he gave it a 3.75.
Oh, I stopped listening.
Ooh, so you stop it from being a Brunowitz recommended.
Yes, he
Look
did.
at you. But I really like these guys. I've only got Toppling Goliath from Devore.
Yep.
Or when you went to Washington.
Or
Didn't you pick some up there?
technically, it was a distributor that came through Boise, and they had a very, very limited supply.
Oh, okay.
It was only delivered to Whole Foods, and I got like two of the. I got 2 6-packs. I got one of the Fire Skulls and Money, and I got one of the Pseudo Sue, and it was gone the next day.
I believe it. Great beers.
Yeah.
These guys do a really good job. So if you just see anything from Toppling Goliath, I recommend grabbing it. Let's go on to some more movies, though, real quick, and finish up these cars. I'll tell you one because we've actually just keep saying cars. I'm going to step away from cars, and I'm going to pick a truck.
Nice.
Because to me, this is one of the coolest fucking vehicles in movie history. And I'm talking about the first Expendables, Sylvester Stallone's 1950 Ford F-100. Blacked out, side steps on there, fucking, especially all the hidden guns in the compartment, too. That makes it extra.
I
great.
second that.
Dude, what a sexy fucking man truck. I love it.
It's a great pick, man. That truck does a lot of.
I would
work.
take that over any of these vehicles we've talked about, even the Mustang. That's how much I love these old trucks. That's one of my favorite type of vehicles, and that to me is just the epitome of manly fucking truck.
It's a great pick, man.
I had to throw that in somewhere.
You have
None
to.
of us are arguing with you.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm trying to think of other like super dope trucks.
I got a truck.
Yeah, what do you got, brother?
Optimus Prime.
My truck is Optimus Prime. Good night. Know each other so well.
I was gonna say is either that or the truck from Big Trouble Little China, Kurt Russell's semi.
Oh my gosh, yes.
No, probably not.
But
Or
no,
Sylvester
Optimus Prime-
Stallone's semi from Over the Top.
Or yeah, Kurt Russell's truck in the movie Black Dog. That's a good one.
Or the semis from Maximum Overdrive.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Love those semis.
Great choice, Paula. Great choice. That was. Do you know what kind of truck it is that he is mimicking?
It's like a semi, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a
I don't-
semi truck.
I don't know what like, actual year. I would assume it was in the 80s.
It's a good old Mack truck. Yeah.
The Mack truck.
Yep.
It's like the standard truck.
Yeah, they actually stopped producing them, so it's very interesting that like when Michael Bay's Transformers came out, that they had to do a Peterbilt, which was very interesting, and all the fans were like, "Oh no, you're doing a Peterbilt. It's not the same as a Mack truck. That's what Optimus Prime is supposed to be." They've since changed that. But.
Yeah, I also like Bumblebee, whatever car he is.
Well, the original
Yeah.
G1 Bumblebee was a Volkswagen Bug,
Well, yeah.
and then it became 80s Camaro and then a 2000s
An
Camaro. I
83
can't remember
Camaro.
what the exact years were.
83 Camaro and a 2008.
Right around there. That sounds about
How
right.
come none of us said Herbie the Love
There's a reason for that, Sean.
That one
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should have brought up when it was talking about vehicles that are key.
Am I sharing my age?
A little
No,
bit.
those movies, I honestly like wasn't a big fan of those movies. I'll be honest.
Did you watch the one with Lindsay Lohan?
I did.
Okay, that
wasn't
might
a
be
fan.
why.
No, I watched the ones previous to that too, and I was like, am I?
You have to
Wasn't
be
a giant
6
fan.
years old in 1978.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
none
was
of us
negative
qualify
9.
for
That helps.
1968.
1968.
Negative 19. Okay.
Yeah, you were
negative 19.
I'm also surprised nobody, especially Paula, has brought up the Mach 5.
Because I said the last episode. But yeah.
Well, that was a different episode.
I already brought it up once. I think I brought the Mach 5 up like 5 times already.
Right.
Oh, the speed racer.
In different episodes, yeah.
I have one. The Transporter car, the
Which-
Audi 06, or if you're going for Transporter 3, the Audi 08.
How did we know?
Audi S8. How
Or
did you
if
know?
we're picking Audis, how are we not talking about the original Iron Man R8?
Yes.
Right.
That's a beauty too,
Yeah.
man.
But that car though, it wasn't as much of a character in the Iron Man movies.
No, but
It is
still, what a vehicle.
still a great
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah, everybody knows that I drive an Audi A4 Quattro,
Fucking everybody knows that.
Everybody knows.
Your mother knows.
and it's awesome. It has a Brunomics logo on the back. So if you see it, say hi, wave at me. Don't try and run me off the road. Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm still really, really, really proud of my Audi joke I made at you at your birthday party.
I might have missed that. I don't even
Oh,
remember.
you were there. So of course he drives an Audi, and part of the gifts he got was this actually really nice Audi shirt and hat. And I was like, you should wear that Audi shirt and that Audi hat while you drive your Audi, and you'll look like an inside-out porcupine because the prick's on the inside.
That's right. I do remember that joke now. That's good.
Oh,
That's all right.
It's a mean joke, but it's
No, it was a
funny.
mean joke. It was funny, and I know you didn't mean it, which is, it's all right.
I mean, if you literally wear all of that at the same time while you're driving your car, yes, I do mean that.
There's a reason I don't.
You can wear the hat or the shirt, not both.
Oh, I will
I want the
wear.
light that comes out from the bottom of the door.
Right. I expect you to just have, or get driving gloves where on one knuckle it says Audi and the other's the Audi rings. That would actually be pretty cool.
When are you getting your Audi tattoo?
that lower
I
back
don't know
tattoo.
Will's like, I'm about to be Audi 5000 from this podcast.
Get on me.
No, those are good picks. I actually have those on my list. But I did also call back the 1999 BMW 7 Series E38 that was in the first Transporter, which was awesome.
How about another not car or truck? How about those Ducatis from the third Matrix?
Oh.
Second Matrix?
Second
Second
Matrix.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Shit movie. Dope Ducatis.
Dope Ducati.
What was the model of those?
I don't recall.
It was like that Ducati X900 or something to that. I can't remember.
They're fast.
But they were fast and they were
It
beautiful.
was the 9.
Yeah, and I remember
It was
because
the
I went at Edwards and they were having a raffle for it. Or it's like, right down in whatever, you win this Ducati. Obviously, I'm sure nobody won. They just want to steal your information so they can sell it to people. But yeah, I filled out like 80 slips. Pretty sure I wasn't even legally old enough to, I think you had to be 25 and I was like 21 or something, so I couldn't have even legally won it. But God, I wanted it. What a beautiful bike.
It was a great bike.
What's your guys' favorite motorcycles from a movie?
I got one right now. Right now, that's why I'm holding you right
Okay.
here. Yeah. Hot Rod's Moped.
Yeah.
Any sample.
The original Easy Rider.
There we go, baby. Great fucking choice.
Wow.
The original chopper.
I don't think I have
I
one.
don't know if you can beat Easy Rider.
I have no idea what.
Arnold's Harley in
That's
T2.
That's exactly
There you
where I
go
was
there.
going. I have no idea.
But it's really just
what Harley
Batman
is.
and a Harley. You're like,
And in real
God,
life,
that's
there's nothing, if you listeners have never seen this bike, there's nothing like the Tomahawk.
Oh yeah.
The
That's
Tomahawk
pretty
has
Oh,
a
the
Viper V10 engine,
concept. Yeah.
and it's not a concept.
It's not?
No.
They produced that.
Well, okay,
it's
they
not
didn't produce
mass
it.
produced.
No.
They made some.
Not mass produced, but there are people that owned them. It wasn't just a concept vehicle where
Okay.
they made one.
No, there are a couple dozen out. I
You
think.
you
I
could
mean,
buy
yeah,
them
dozen.
if you were affluent enough. You could buy them. They have two front tires that swivel and allow you to turn, and you have a V10 between your legs.
Or getting back to the tumbler when that shoots out to a motorcycle.
Right.
Tumblr
Captain
was
America's
awesome.
motorcycle. Again, it's just Captain America on a motorcycle. That's just cool.
yeah.
But movie car.
But movie
But
car.
I think cars,
I mean,
yeah.
the Tomahawk was something that you could buy if you had enough money,
Was the Tomahawk in a movie?
and you could try to ride it. I don't think so.
Okay,
I
you're
don't
just talking
think
about a dope ass
Oh,
motorcycle.
what was that motorcycle that Uma Thurman rode in Kill Bill? The yellow one.
It was a Ducati, but I don't know
Ducati.
which.
Was
I don't
it a
know what-
Ducati?
Yeah, it was like a 85
I thought it was a
series.
Buell. So I thought it was like Harley's crotch rocket, which is, I could be way fucking
You
off.
could be
base.
wrong.
Will you give us a goops, Vic? What motorcycle did Uma Thurman?
Yeah.
Uma Thurman?
Uma Thurman.
I got a couple more just like really cool, awesome looking cars. The Ferrari, the yellow Ferrari in the movie The Rock. Y'all remember that when the chase scene with the Humvee?
Oh,
Where Nick Cage is
okay.
going after Sean Connery. That was just, I loved that car just for that scene. It was awesome. That's probably the epitome of Michael Bay, chase car scenes was that yellow Ferrari. So,
Well, what about one thing, again, not a car, but we should have talked about this when it comes to characters about it. I'm talking about the bus from Speed.
ooh. With all the panels that you can remove, and how you have to look under. Oh, you find the fake bomb, and then you look under, you find the real bomb, and there's enough TNT to put a hole in the world. Yes, yeah, that's a very good
Quick
point.
hot shot.
It's awesome.
Got to watch that Wildcat behind the wheel there.
Wildcat.
No, that's what he called it.
Yeah, exactly.
I did locate the specific type of motorcycle that was in Kill Bill. It was a Yamaha FZ600 Phaser Kawasaki.
It was a fucking Kawasaki, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is, yeah.
Next one up that I have written down here on my notes is the peach-colored Toyota Supra from Fast and the Furious 1.
Yeah, you have to go. We can't mention car movies without the movies Fast and the Furious. I like that you chose that. What's your
The
reason?
Peach Supra, out of all the Fast and the Furious vehicles.
The reason why I like the Peach Supra is because it's a Supra. Dude, have you ever been in a Supra?
A 1994 Toyota Supra, man. That car currently retails for $50,000 today.
$50,000.
Used. That is used.
And they had that thing heavily modified.
Yeah, it has a twin turbo 2JZ engine V6 that is fully built. That car is fantastic. Great choice.
I just love the fact that it had the chop top.
Basically.
I love that fact that they could just like pop open the top, like, and it just, they flew it off in the movie like it was nothing. But I love that because that's like the ultimate summer car.
Mhm.
What was
Right.
that? I think, and again, you guys know fucking,
He
I'm
needed 10
not
second car.
a Fast and Furious fan, but the one that I thought was maybe the coolest looking one was Han's car in Fast and the Furious 3.
That is an RX-7 wide
Mazda
body
RX-7,
kit.
that's right, with
Yeah.
the body kit. That's what it was. Because I remember I played this Need for Speed game and I got the RX-7 and I tried to model it and did a pretty fucking good job to 100% look like that orange.
Yeah.
That he had there, because man, that was so dope
Right.
looking, I thought.
Was it the orange and blue or orange and black? Yeah, two cars before that orange and blue got
I think it was the
demolished.
orange and black one.
The orange and black one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was slick as fuck.
I
The
love
Okay.
Bellside body kit, the car that he's like, drifting around the main character's car with just effortlessly. No, that's a great thing. If we're going Fast and the Furious, I'd put one of mine on there, and my choice for the Fast and the Furious would have to be the Nissan Skyline
I was going to come up.
GTR R5 that came out in Fast and the Furious 7.
Oh, 7?
Yep.
Oh,
No, because there was a 99 Skyline GTR R34 and Too Fast, Too Furious. It was only in there at the beginning, which is fine. But I prefer the 2012 Skyline GTR R5.
it's a better pick. You are right.
Did you watch a lot of Fast and the Furious, Sean?
I
The right answer is no.
No,
These motherfuckers disagree.
no,
but
look,
I
I've
hate
never,
that
I've
shit.
never, I've never been a fan.
But do you have a favorite vehicle from those movies that you can think of? You could say no. That's fine.
The answer is none.
Perfect. Okay.
No, I'll be honest. Let's say why though.
Not even the 1970s Dodge Charger.
No, because that's not. Look,
GTO.
the whole movie is about import tuners, right?
It
Okay.
is.
So
Mostly.
let's bring up for the viewers where my heart is and what I own.
Sure.
Okay. Import tuners for me are not big wings and flames coming out of your pipes and front splitters and weird graphics. I don't believe in any of
And
that.
underglow.
I don't believe in any of that. Okay.
It was all about the spectacle.
Hydraulic lift.
Right. So my car that I own, that I built, is a true classic import tuner. It's a 1971 Datsun 510, and it's done better than any car in that movie.
Yeah, and it is easily one of the most classic import cars that I've ever
Right.
seen.
So I don't
ever.
usually toot my own horn,
But you're gonna in this case, and deservedly so.
but I'm going to.
Fucking A deservedly. So I was like, if you don't, I'll toot it for you, bro.
So the cars in Fast and Furious are made up cars that they don't hold a candle.
No, they don't.
And that's totally fair. I totally understand that sentiment.
You guys ready to drink another beer?
Heck yeah, I'm
Cool.
thirsty.
So let's go from a double IPA to a double IPA, which we usually
The latter
don't do, right? But this, I think, might be an exception because holy moly, this looks different. So this is actually a double coming in at 8.6. All right, so we
For
said
real.
dirty for reals. This is brewed and canned by Dorchester Brewing Company out of Boston, Massachusetts. for
Dorchester.
Decadent Ales. This is their Blackberry Cream Pop.
Mm,
Double IPA with blackberries and Madagascar vanilla beans.
never talking about it.
All right, I'm excited for this. On the can, our All Mosaic dry hopped double IPA brewed with blackberries, Madagascar vanilla, and a proprietary blend of sugars.
Jerry, both you and I, without knowing, picked this one up from our local Brewers Haven, right? Our local beer craft shop.
Right.
For about, I wonder, what was it, like $5.86?
$5.39
$5.39
Each.
And
a pint. Yep.
yeah, 16 ounce. And we had no idea that the other one was going to grab it. And I think we both bought this today.
Yes, that is true.
So that just goes to say a little bit about what we have thought in the past, at least about the decadent ales that we have tried.
Well, oh my God, I just took a sip. Holy, oh wow.
All right.
But yeah, we have. I really like this brewery because what a fun way to end the night. I like this dessert style, great conversational beer. Every single one of these are fun to talk about. And yeah, this is nothing like the last double IPA we just tried. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh, no.
Immediate reactions.
It's sweet. It's fun.
It's surprising, yeah. Like you don't get a lot on the front of the palate, but at the back of the palate, man, it just destroys it.
I definitely get a lot of the cream pop, that creamsicleness to it, and I do get. It's not as blackberry forward as I would like it to be, but it's definitely there. It's pretty yum yums. It takes a little bit. Blackberry kind of sneaks up on you. Definitely get a lot more of that vanilla bean up front.
Yeah, it's not as tart as you would expect right away.
No, not at all. I love the creaminess of it, of the cream pop. I've been dying for a cream pop for a while. And this definitely pops my mouth as a cream.
This will get you to where the great crafted beers are supposed to.
Yeah, Decadent knows what they're doing at this point. I want to say that I could compare this to the Decadent. Was it the toaster pastry, which is supposed to taste like a Pop-Tart?
We had a blueberry and a strawberry.
A blueberry and a strawberry. This tastes more like the blueberry, but it's crisp and refreshing. It doesn't have that biscuity flavor.
It's not overly sweet.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It is sweet. Don't get me wrong. You definitely.
Different than the ones he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crisp. It's crispness, and you have that cream too.
God, that is so.
Vic, what do you think, man? You've just been silent.
I'm struggling to try to figure it out. I don't have a really good reference for blackberries personally, so I'm trying to figure that piece out in my mind.
Are you upset that they're not called African American berries?
Not in the least, no. No, I like what you said about sort of a cream. So it would almost be like having berries in cream
Doesn't even phase them anymore.
is what it gets me. So I like it a lot though. The mouthfeel is great. It's clear. It's cream. It's crispy.
Look, this is not good for a podcast, but what we really have to do is sip it and be silent, and then come back and talk about it in 10 minutes.
It could be ASMR.
Yeah, we don't do silence very well.
No, I know. I'm saying
Yeah.
this is not how you drink a beer on a podcast, honestly.
It-
But I'm going to tell you that when you take a drink of this beer and you wait 10 minutes and you sip 2 or 3 drinks, you're going to have a whole different understanding of it.
Well, especially when you let it warm up a little bit more and let those flavors really grow and start to pop in there. I feel like this beer is going to get better with each sip.
This is the most complex beer that we've drank tonight.
By a far degree.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Excuse me.
the most dynamic. So complexity can be mistaken for dynamic.
Sure.
This is dynamic.
Yeah.
Every time you take a drink of it, you're going to have something happen different on your palate. And it deserves some time.
I think it does. But again, if you are in Boise, you can pick this up. It took the longest time to be able to get Decadent Ales here, but they've started to. So far, I've seen them Brewers Haven and the Co-op, and I'm sure you could probably get them at a few other specialty shops. I just unfortunately don't get out that much. But I dig it, and now it's time to judge this motherfucker. So out of 5,000 check-ins, 4,400 ratings, we got a 3.9. Okay, I'm going to round that up a little bit. I really enjoy this. To me, this is my favorite beer of the night, even above that Toppling Goliath. Again, one of the main reasons for it, what a great conversation piece, right? This is one I want to try again. I want to share with somebody because I'm intrigued to see that initial reaction because it's unique. So I'm going to give it a 4.25.
I'm right there with you. 4.25, absolutely 100%, because this is way more difficult of a beer than any beer that we drank. I mean, if you know how to make a beer with this kind of flavor profile and have it still be balanced and deliver over time on your palate, I may even go higher than that, but you guys don't go in between a 4.25 and a 4.5.
Nope.
But it's absolutely everything of a 4.25.
Go
I
ahead.
love how this beer is growing on me. Like just how Sean was saying, like the more, and Jerry as well, the more that you let it sit and just kind of ponder it as the temperature changes on it and everything, and it does different things on the palate to you than what you would expect. I'm gonna rate this a 4.0. I did get a little bit of a medicinal flavor when I was kind of slurping that just a bit ago, which I am gonna ding it for. But it is a very, very good beer and a very strong candidate. So 4.0. That's where I sit.
That medicine is magic.
Perfect. Well,
I'm
gonna
giving
double
it
down.
more because of it.
Well, I'm going to double down with you. I think it's a solid 4.0 as well. What they're trying to accomplish with this beer is incredibly fantastic, and they hit their flavor profiles on the mark, in my opinion. So, but it is very sweet to me, and that's sort of problematic for a long time. I can't continuously drink this beer. Man, I'm slurring my words. It's not good.
Well, it's an 8.6%. So
I get so much spice, and you get the sweet.
I get the
That's
sweet.
the wonderful thing about people's
Love
palates.
it.
Right?
Yeah, that's how mine works.
Like my palate does not pick up the sweet that you describe. My palate picks up the absolute strength in blueberry or blackberry and spice.
Really, I'm getting like almost none of that. It's
See, I'm
pure
right there.
sweetness.
Like I'm a lot of vanilla bean, that sugar, right? So that's what I'm getting. And I
That
get
comes
that
on
blackberry
first,
at
right?
the end of it.
It comes
for
on
sure,
so up front, but then when you swallow, you get so much spice and so much of the tartness from the blackberry.
Interesting.
I think it's tremendous, and that's the wonderful thing about people's palates.
It's still a phenomenal beer, and huge props to Decadent Brewing for crafting this beer. It is a well-crafted beer. Paul, what do you think?
I like it a lot. I do. And I like it for its sweetness.
Okay, yeah, you're getting that as well.
Decadent has been one of my favorite just brewery.
Does it stay for you on the residual? Does it stay for you on the residual? The
Yes.
sweetness? Or do you get What happens for you after you swallow?
Heyo.
Giggity.
That's what she said.
I don't brush my teeth.
No, I'm really curious because our palates are so dynamic and different and unique across each one of us and on all people. So we all get the sweetness up front, right? We all get the vanilla, we get the power. How does it finish for you?
So I get the sweetness even when after I swallow. Upon not drinking it, I get that spice
Okay.
right in the back of right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the back of my
He's kind of like
the back of the
pointing to
jaw.
like
Yeah,
the
the
back,
jaw. Yeah.
the back right side of his jaw, like kind of
Yeah,
almost
like-
behind your teeth.
That's where I'm getting that spice from. And I like it a lot. I do. Definitely, like I said, it's just one of my faves. Ever since I started buying it, it's always given me just the happiest times and the biggest of boners.
I gotta tell you, biggest of boners for sure. I think this one is,
Cheers to that.
the more I drink it, the higher the numbers go.
I mean, I already finished all of mine. 4.25. I do like it.
Awesome. And that officially qualifies it as a Brewnomics recommended.
One made the list tonight. Look at that. All right, all right. all
Did we
right,
drink
all
them all?
Well, we have more beer later.
No.
but
Did we
that's-
drink
that's
all
for
of
later.
these?
No.
Good, I'm stealing.
I think that's fair. Okay, well, shit, unless we got anything else, I think it's time to wrap up, y'all. It's
Yeah.
late, it's hot, I'm drunk, I gotta pee again already. I've been looking at Ron Burgundy's dick all night, so now I'm just haunted by that burgundy bulge, the cleats and the pants.
It
But
allows for more roominess down there.
I guess, I mean, I don't really have anything, but anybody been watching anything, reading anything, doing anything, playing anything that they want to talk about?
Not really. I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna get there. Where you guys at?
He's just hoping that we end.
All right, fuck it, let's just call it then.
I
I'm
got
doing
one.
that stuff.
Cool. Oh, Paul's got something.
I got one. Go on YouTube because it's free. Go to Marvel HQ, watch Avengers Assemble, the Ultron Revolutions. It's a great addition to the cartoon. There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, and I just want to sign off by saying thank you to this group of guys for inviting me, embracing me, sharing beer. There's really not very many things in life better than friendships and passion shared, and I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I mean, we like to pretend that we know a lot about beer. That's actually not true. I think we stay pretty humble. But one thing I will say, especially when it came to this beer we brewed and bottling and going forward, I feel like, holy shit, we don't know anything, which is a really fun feeling for me, right? I love that because I love to learn. I love the beer. I love this industry, the craft thing. And I love that, Sean, we have, what a great resource. What a great friend that you are
Yes.
too. And you've been, like I said, super generous and super helpful. I'm excited to see the relationship grow. I'm so excited to brew more beer, have another very well-educated input added to this. So I think you add a whole lot to it, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. But until next week, thanks for tuning in. Buy a friend a beer, buy a vet a beer. That's the goal this time. It's almost 4th of July.
Come
Thank
check
a
us out.
soldier, thank somebody in the military, buy them some beer. Go come say hi to hi to us at Homestead or whatever we have.
Yep.
But in the meantime, just
On
be a good
Thursday.
person.
Be a good person.
All right, until next time, I'm Jerry.
I'm Paula.
Cheers, Sean. Cheers.
Will I was.
Cheers, bitches.
We're out.
Woo!